Find him. He's averaging 32 points in this series, and he's shooting 80% from the foul line. More importantly, he's getting to the foul line 11 times a night. Now, Michael Jordan will be more determined than ever to make sure that the Bulls end it here tonight. Bob?
Thanks, Zeke. Well, Doug, there's no minimizing Utah's plight. No team has ever come back from a 3-1 deficit in the finals to win the championship. On the other hand, with the exception of Game 3, they've been in every game. And, in fact, in their losses in Games 2 and 4, you change a play here, an official's call there, and they could be even up in the series.
Bob, you're right. It has come down to critical plays. And in Game 1, it was John Stockton and the Utah Jazz. In overtime, Stockton with a runner gives his team a 4-point lead in the victory. Utah leading by 1 in Game 2. Kerr with a big offensive rebound. He finds Michael Jordan for the three-point play. They steal the home court. And then Scottie Pippen, magnificent defensively in Game 3 when the Bulls beat them by 42 points and totally turned this series around. And then in Game 4, once again, critical plays. Dennis Rodman, 2 big offensive rebounds, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Michael Jordan, 2 big post plays to finish the game off. Now, Bob, your stars win championships for you. And in the fourth quarter and overtime in this series, Stockton Malone, when they've gotten it done in Game 1, they've won. In Game 2 and in Game 4, when they have struggled, they have not. 2 future Hall of Famers, 2 of the top 50 players of all time. If there's a Game 6, it must be on the shoulders of John Stockton and Karl Malone.
To get them there, to get them through Game 5 and get them to Game 6. We'll find out soon enough. We'll be joined by Hannah Storm and the Showtime crew when we come back to the United Center after these messages.
Let's say this is Castrol Syntec motor oil, and this is a harmful particle in your engine. Get the point? You see, Syntec's patented stabilizers seek out and neutralize harmful particles, protecting in ways other oils can't. Castrol Syntec, the active lubricant.
At Braun, we thought about shaving, so you could think about something else. Braun, smart thinking.
Get ready to get creative. Get into a Rebel G. Go beyond snapshots. Experience the ultimate rush.
Cool.
Rebel G and only EOS lenses from Canon.
America's Serena Williams. Just 16, Venus's kid sister is quickly gaining the spotlight. At the French Open, she nearly upset eventual champion Arantxa Sanchez Vicario until young nerves got the best of her. Now, will her first trip to Wimbledon be as memorable? Serena Williams, one to watch at the championships. Wimbledon on NBC.
Welcome back to Chicago. I'm Hannah Storm. The Chicago Bulls are 1 win away from their 6th title in 8 years. But just 9 days ago, when this series began, the Bulls were actually considered underdogs. Here's Ahmad Rashad with Michael Jordan.
The key for 3. It's long. And Michael is there, as he so often is. The Bulls will survive the Pacers.
When this series started, the 2 things they said about the Bulls were they were old and they were tired, which obviously had nothing to do with what was going to happen in the future.
Well, I mean, that's true. You know, we are old, and sure, we're tired. It's been a long season, but mentally, we have a vision, we have a finish that we have to attain. You know, and sometimes you have to do it when you're old and you're tired. You know, and I think it's the test of your will to succeed when you have to deal with, you know, some of these negatives. And I'm pretty sure, you know, by the end of this playoffs, you'll see the old and the tired people were very, very young and strong mentally.
Your confidence as a team really didn't wane going into Utah. Well, a lot of people thought they had a tough time with Indiana, they'll never get by Utah.
Their confidence, or their overconfidence, was our biggest, you know, positive, our biggest strength going into the series. They were expected to dominate us because of many games and the minutes that I've played and Scotty's played and whatever. I felt it was still in our favor. You know, we had a rhythm. We were gaining, improving as we moved deeper into the playoffs. Sure, we went to a 7-game series with Indiana, but I think that was a plus instead of a minus.
Now, going in, you say the pressure's on Utah. Here it is about a week later. You guys are up 3-1. The pressure's squarely on the Bulls to win this thing. As Utah, they have nothing to lose at this point.
Well, I disagree with you. I think, you know, no one anticipated us being in this scenario, 3-1, an opportunity to close it out in Chicago. They're looking at trying to get it back to Utah, so the pressure's still on them. You know, they haven't lived up to the expectations of Salt Lake City or Utah and most of the people who predicted them to beat us. You know, so they have to contend with those thoughts. I don't think that in their mind, they haven't been able to solve our defense, you know, which is a big key. You know, our defense has always been able to hold them, you know, whenever it's a necessary need for that. In some of their minds, I'm pretty sure that, you know, they think that they should be swept by now, you know, 4-0.
Plenty more with Ahmad and Michael at halftime. While Jordan has made all the big plays in these finals, Karl Malone has struggled, scoring 7 points below his average with 17 turnovers in 4 games. Yesterday, I spoke with Malone.
The harsh verdict of history is closing in on Karl Malone.
I think my concern is people don't start making plans for summer already. Every guy have to look at himself. You know, not a pep talk from coach or myself or John or anybody else. Yourself. If nothing else, how are you going to be remembered by the other teams in the league?
Dennis Rodman's been given a lot of the credit for hurting you from a defensive standpoint. Do you buy that? Does he deserve it?
Well, I don't buy that, but everybody want to know why maybe I'm not getting shots in the fourth quarter. We have certain plays we run. We haven't ran those plays, but they don't talk about that. Give credit where credit is due. You know, he have an assignment to play defense and rebound and always be where I'm at, and he's doing a good job of doing that. I give him credit, but I'm not going to give him all the credit, no.
John Stockton told me in an interview earlier this week that sometimes you take all the pressure on yourself and the burden on yourself to carry this team. And he said that works for you. Is that the way you're approaching this game?
Whenever a game situation like this, I do, and I see no reason for it to be different now. I know, and it's known throughout America that the world probably, when Karl Malone played well, the Jazz played well. As long as I'm here, it's going to be like that. And so, of course, you know, I look at this game, the biggest game of my career.
So you're thinking about your legacy, your playoff legacy, and how you'll be perceived if the Jazz lose.
Well, you always think about that. You know, I think about how you want to be remembered as an athlete. You look at everything I've done. The one thing I haven't done is win a title. So it's not going to be the end of the world for me, but from a sports standpoint, I would always say that he got them there, but they didn't win the whole thing.
Malone has certainly taken the brunt of the criticism for not getting the job done down the stretch for the Utah Jazz. And right now, let's rejoin Doug and Isaiah down on the floor and see where they weigh in on this issue. Isaiah, how much of the blame does Malone deserve?
And I think he only deserves 50% of the blame, and I think Stockton deserves the rest. It's always been Stockton and Malone, the 1-2 punch, and Stockton has failed to show his leadership skills and to get Malone involved in the latter parts of a game. Malone is a soldier. He's not a leader. They've taken Stockton totally out of this series, and in the last 3 games, he's only averaged 6 points. So Stockton must find a way to get himself involved and get his teammates involved and share some of that responsibility and take the burden off of Malone a little bit.
Well, Isaiah, if Karl Malone is the guy who's going to take the brunt of the criticism, he's got to do one of 2 things. He's either got to talk to Jerry Sloan or Stockton. He's got to go, look, I'm not happy with the plays we're running in the fourth quarter. This is what I want us to do. This is where I want the ball. Then if we go down, if we lose, I can accept that. But he has got to be, there's got to be a trust factor here, 13 years together. Now's the time to communicate. Don't just worry about it going into the summer. Do something about it right now when you can do it.
But Doug, that's totally out of his character. He's a soldier. He's not a leader. And throughout the Utah Jazz, since Stockton and Malone got together, Stockton has been the leader and Sloan has been the leader. And right now, Malone is being a good soldier and taking the bullet.
Thanks a lot, guys. And clearly it is up to not only Karl Malone, but also John Stockton, both future Hall of Famers, to save Utah's season with a win tonight. We're closing in on the tip-off of Game 5. The NBA Finals continue on NBC right after these messages.
Announcing the new Miller Lite Scratch and Sniff Fantasy Sweepstakes. If you can smell it, you can win it.
It smells like beef.
Smell beef and win 400 pounds of red meat.
You tiresome fool, it's obviously suntan oil.
Smell suntan oil and you win the grand prize. Be an extra on the Sports Illustrated swimsuit shoot.
Hi, Jimmy.
Score! Tell me about it.
See special displays for details.
It ties as J.D. Power and Associates' most appealing minivan. It's also winner of the Automobile Magazine All-Star Award. And now, it's the winner of the Total Quality Award for Best Ownership Experience. Presenting the new Chrysler Town & Country LXI. Now, select customers save a total of $2,000 on Town & Country. Chrysler, engineered to be great cars.
Kids, they're always learning something new, especially this summer at Holiday Inn. Here they can explore the world of animals and nature with free collectible toys, games, and activities, all courtesy of Holiday Inn. And because their appetite for knowledge is matched only by their appetite, kids eat free at Holiday Inn, which makes sense since they stay free too. For reservations at participating hotels, call 1-800-HOLIDAY.
For the last time at the United Center this season with the starting lineups, here's Ray Clay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Chicago Bulls welcome the world's greatest fans to the United Center. Tonight, Game 5 of the NBA Finals is between the Utah Jazz and your Chicago Bulls. Now, let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First for the visiting Utah Jazz, at one forward, from Long Beach State, 6'7", Brian Russell. At the other forward, 6'9", out of Stanford, Adam Keefe. At center, 6'9", from Louisiana Tech, Karl Malone. At one guard, 6'1", out of Gonzaga, John Stockton. And the other guard from Iowa State, 6'4", Jeff Hornacek. The Utah Jazz are coached by Jerry Sloan. Anderson.
Before tonight's opening tip, we, as always, go to Ahmad Rashad.
All right, thanks, Bob. And as always, during this series, the Bulls locker room very loose and extremely confident. I think the Bulls, to a man, feel like this is the end of that series. Michael Jordan tells me that that's really not the way you want to look at a series like this. They have to look at it like they have to win one of the next 3 games. Now, he also said that this is a game that's about leadership. He and Scotty have been in this situation before, and it's up to them to show the rest of his team how to bring it on home. Let's go down to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Ahmad. Well, I was in the Jazz locker room before the game, and the approach that the Jazz are taking is that they're not down 3 games to 1, but that they're only behind by 1 game. Jerry Sloan telling his troops that the mission is still the same as when they came to Chicago. They need to win 1 game here in this building. Sloan telling them that if they can win this game, he feels as though they can go back to Utah and all of the momentum will switch. Finally, I spoke to Karl Malone, and Karl Malone says, I love Michael Jordan. I admire the way he plays. In fact, I like him so much, I hope he doesn't retire for at least 3 more games. Bob?
All right, Jim. The Bulls are 30-2 at home in the playoffs over the last 3 years and 8-0 on this floor in the finals. This year, last year against the Jazz, and the year before against Seattle. Remember 1993 in the old Chicago Stadium. Phoenix down 3 games to 1. Managed to win the 5th game in Chicago and force it back to America West Arena for Game 6 and potentially Game 7. And if John Paxson doesn't can the 3, Phoenix is looking at a Game 7 on its home floor. Chicago fans should not view this as a foregone conclusion. The Bulls open with the ball. Pippen. It comes up short, and Keefe has it. Stopped into the front court. Russell on the wing. And then Stockton again. He scored only 7, but he did have 13 assists in Game 4. Malone's first shot is there. Against the defense of Luke Longley, he's shooting 54%. When Rodman guards him, it falls to 32%. Michael's first touch. Over Russell. Can't tie it. Stockton grabs the rebound. They've got a 3-on-1 if they hurry with only Kukoc back. And it's Keefe to finish it.
Bob, great start here for the Utah Jazz. 2 set plays they've run, a fast break. More importantly, no second shots. 2 defensive rebounds.
Utah needs to set a tone and set it right at the outset of this first quarter. Pippen's pass inside for Kukoc. And it's Chicago's first basket plus a foul.
And you'll see right away when Chicago gets in trouble and they need a basket, they'll go right to the post with Jordan or Kukoc. That time they posted Hornacek. Kukoc went on the backdoor cut and beat Keefe for the layup.
And Keefe is tagged with his first foul. The officials are Bennett Salvatore, Joe Crawford, and Bill Oakes. Salvatore worked Game 1. Crawford and Oakes worked Game 2 in Utah. 3-point play for Kukoc. Left block where he likes it. Finds Russell coming through the lane, but he can't finish. He does, however, save it off the Bulls and out of bounds.
See, Malone came off the screen that time wide open, and he set deep into the lane.
8 on the shot clock. Into Keefe. Takes it to the hole aggressively. Got his own rebound and a foul.
Utah does a great job executing their sideline and inline out of bounds plays. And Adam Keefe made a nice little screen roll back to the basketball. They tried to jump out to take the shot away from Hornacek. Slipped right in and got the foul.
On Jordan, his first. Harper on Stockton. Malone over Longley. Keefe follows and blows it. He was there but couldn't finish. Harper fires. And Utah still leads it 4-3. Stockton pulls up, and the 3 spins out on him. Tough luck there. whistle from Joe Crawford as Pippen receives the pass. Hornacek is nailed with his first.
Isaiah, I thought they did a good job the other night, Utah, in running when they could and setting up. What they've got to be able to do is mix that up tonight. Not get into a complete half court, not into complete running. Run when it's there, set up and execute your half court offense when you have to do that.
Jordan to Kukoc. Tony with all 5 of Chicago's points, that time off a great assist from Jordan.
Now that's the second time Keith has got beat on that backdoor cut. Look for Kukoc next time to set him up and take him outside for the J.
And now it's Bennett Salvatore with the call at the other end of the floor. And it's Longley hit with his first.
You see Jordan holding the ball right there. Keith just falls asleep. Kukoc back cuts him. You see the floor is so spread out. Good pass from Jordan. Nice follow-up from Kukoc.
Each team with 2 team fouls. Malone again over Longley, and he hits 2 of his first 3 to echo the earlier thoughts of Bill Walton. I think Karl Malone has got to go out, if he goes out here, with guns blazing. Better to go 2 for 25 than 5 for 11 with his team down 3-1. Jordan lost it. Stockton comes away with it. Utah running. Hornacek, baseline. Can't hit it. Utah's had some good looks early and some opportunities inside, and they haven't cashed them. They lead at 6-5. Kukoc against Keefe, and a foul. The basket does not count. The whistle before the shot, and it's number 2 on Keefe. There's Rodman. He just came down the corridor and joined his team on the bench, so we may see him fairly soon. Keefe has to go out with the 2 fouls, and Greg Foster comes in. Longley has it taken away by Stockton. Russell is running with it. Instead, it's the trailer Hornacek for 3. Another good look that they don't convert. Kukoc inside. Another chance for a 3-point play. Kukoc getting off early.
See, Greg Foster didn't get to his man that time. There was confusion, Isaiah. You can't give up layups in this kind of game. Kukoc now off to a great start. He's got 7 points and basically 3 layups. But no one guarding him here. At the last moment, Foster gets over, and Kukoc with a little finish around the basket. If he hits his free throw, which he does, he has 8 points now. All of the Bulls 8 points.
And so much attention right now is focused on Jordan and Pippen, and that's leaving the inside wide open.
Stockton, all kinds of room. And ties the game at 8.
They're getting excellent shots. They've had about 3 fast breaks that they've not been able to convert. Keefe missed an offensive rebound, and Hornacek's missed a couple open jump shots.
Hornacek had a big game, too. So-so at best otherwise. Longley knocked away from behind by Malone. Good defensive play. Here comes Utah. Stockton to the hoop.
See, I like the way Stockton has come out approaching this game. He's attacking. He's their leader, and Utah will follow his lead.
Pippen misses off the baseline, and Malone grabs the rebound. Utah hasn't executed everything perfectly so far, but they have played aggressively. They're coming right at the Bulls. Foster had it poked away from behind, and Longley takes it. Ahead for Michael, intercepted by Russell. Stockton gives it to Malone.
Oh, that was beautiful. Scottie Pippen jumped out to try to get over that screen roll, and Stockton crossed him over. Malone slipped it. Now that's Utah basketball right there. That's the screen roll at its beautiful best.
And Doug, I watched Malone talk to Stockton during that play, nodded his head, set him up right there. Okay, I'm gonna have the back cut for the layup.
Longley's shot is too long. The tip try by Kukoc doesn't fall. Malone, who has half of Utah's 12 points. Pippen on Stockton, drives by him, but Longley got a piece of it. Pippen chases it down.
That's where Stockton's had his problems. He's been able to get there. He just hasn't been able to finish against the bigger team.
Jordan's 3 misfires. It bounces to Longley, who blows the dunk. How about that? Still Utah by 4. Point to say. A Chicago foul.
We talked about
stops with 5:20 to play. Go ahead, Doug.
We talk about Malone and Stockton getting involved early. The great pass here for Stockton as he reads the screen and steps back and buries the open jump shot. And Karl Malone on defense. You see him with the bump, then he helps and recovers on Longley, who does not dunk the ball, which leads to this, a fast break on the other end. Stockton pushing the ball ahead. No one stops him, so what do? You bear down and take it all the way to the basket, and then Stockton to Malone, something we've been used to all season. The beautiful give and go, Malone with the dunk.
And the foul a moment ago was on Jordan, his second.
Go to the finals, NBA.com.
The Spine Tingler. The potential of a true sports car is something you experience, you feel.
That first 300 became a legend in its own time.
The old 99 Chrysler 300M.
To get the feel of this automobile, you really have to drive it.
It holds the road with the widest stance of any other car in its class. The Chrysler 300M. The technology has changed, but the soul lives on. Lease the all-new 1999 Chrysler 300M for just $389 a month.
Did somebody say McDonald's? Coke and fries sound good to me. But before I could reply, the kids handed me my keys. Did somebody say McDonald's?
As of today, the obstacles to wireless calling are history. Introducing AT&T Digital One Rate. 50 states, one rate. Never a roaming or long-distance charge, so every call is like a local call.
Put that baby on the phone.
Hi, sweetie. Hello? Hello? And the rate is so low, it can make your wireless phone your only phone.
How to speak Australian. Guppy. Beer. Foster's Australian for beer.
It's the biggest motorcycle engine on the planet. 6 cylinders, 6 carbs, 1,520 cc's. Only one custom motorcycle in the world can cruise like this. The Valkyrie from Honda.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Miller Lite, who reminds you that a Miller time can be anything you want as long as it feels good. By Chrysler, engineered to be great cars. And by Nike.
Ahmad Rashad back at the United Center. Now, just before that last timeout, you saw Luke Longley miss a dunk. But we talked about leadership and showing these guys the way. As he was coming off the court, all of his teammates ran out, patted him on the back, and encouraged him, realizing that they don't want to lose Luke this early in the game. Bob?
Ahmad, thanks. Stockton out. Isley in at point guard. Here's Foster returning it to Malone, getting it back from him and laying it in.
There was good patience in the post by Karl Malone. He took his time, backed Longley down, then made the feed back, and then gave Foster the feed again for the layup. Great patience inside.
Michaels scoreless thus far. Has it knocked away. It might have gone off his foot, and it did. And Utah will have it up by 6.
I sense a little anxiety, a little tightness here in Chicago. They realize the importance of this game. Even though they're up 3-1, they know the home court switches back to Utah. If Utah can find a way to win.
Doug, it may be a lack of focus coming out in this first quarter, preparing for the parade and the celebration, and forgetting that you got to come out and play a game.
Isley didn't see it coming, but manages to recover. Now shoots the long jumper and misses it. The rebound to Kukoc. If Utah wins tonight, it isn't just a face saver. It may be a series turner. Pippen is doubled with Isley coming over. That leaves Harper open. And the rebound is taken by Isley, knocked away from him, and it will be Utah ball.
So one of the things I like there that we have not seen in this series is guards rebounding. Long shot, long rebound. Isley came back and got the rebound. That's what they've got to do tonight. All 5 guys on the board.
The Bulls are 3 of 13. 0 for 10 absent Kukoc's perfect 3 for 3. Russell from Malone. Overshot it. Got his own rebound. Now it's Foster to Malone. Muscling up. A second try. The tip won't drop. And Harper clears it. But at least the Jazz are getting some work done on the offensive glass in this first quarter, even if they're not always finishing. Jordan was fouled by Foster.
See, Bob, your concern right now...
Maybe it was Russell.
Your concern right now, if you're Utah, is you're only up 6 and the Bulls are shooting so poorly from the field. You've got an opportunity to be up 10 or 12 points right now, and you're not cashing in on your opportunities.
The foul is called on Russell. And right now you can log on to NBA.com and join a live cybercast with NBC's own Steve Jones. The cyber snapper will answer your questions throughout tonight's game. That's at NBA.com. That foul put Utah over the limit and sent Jordan to the line. Rodman will make his first appearance. Longley goes out. Rodman has had much better success defensively against Malone than Longley has.
See, I think what Malone needs to do right now to break the spell that Dennis Rodman has him under is take him to the basket right away as soon as you touch it. Be aggressive to let Dennis know that you're going to have to guard me all night, and I'm not just going to settle for outside jump shots.
Jordan's first point makes it 14-9. Nobody there, and on the turnover, Chicago takes it back.
Bob, that's why you cannot pass that ball off the dribble, because what happens is if the guy comes back to the ball and you've already let that pass go, it's a turnover.
Pippen over Hornacek. Kukoc. Tremendous body control, and he now has 10. A couple of Jazz players knocked each other off the rebound.
That's 3 times that's happened in the first quarter, Isaiah, where they have not communicated on rebounds, taking them away from each other.
Right through Foster's hands and taken by Rodman. Kukoc for the tie. He has all but one of Chicago's points. 13 for Tony, plus a Jordan free throw. And you're watching the NBA on NBC.
Sometimes it's best to play it safe.
Here, this cruise control, all you gotta do is steer. Wait a minute.
But sometimes you just have to get lethal.
Hey, come on in.
Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, Joe Pesci, Rene Russo, and Chris Rock.
Look out!
Lethal Weapon 4, a Richard Donner film.
This summer's gonna be lethal.
Rated R. Starts Friday, July 10th.
He was here. Yo, listen up. I want a top-to-bottom search of every basketball arena in this area. Our fugitive is wanted for calling ticky-tack fouls. Find him. What the heck? Wrong guy! Man, we ain't got time for that.
But it's fun. And ain't that what we're all about?
Man, come on, man. What's up, dog? Last whistle, happy ref. One more happy ending for the Funk Police.
It has arrived. The all-new 1999 Chrysler LHS. Timeless design, luxurious appointments, and power inside and out. On one hand, it's exceptionally quiet. On the other hand, it screams luxury. The 1999 Chrysler LHS. Chrysler, engineered to be great cars. Lease the all-new 1999 Chrysler LHS for just $399 a month.
Its past shows contrast. Its present shares culture. In its future, a celebration. Salt Lake 2002 Olympic Winter Games.
Now, we've been talking about the big three scores for the Chicago Bulls in this series, and Tony Kukoc has come out and gotten them off to a good start. You see him on the back cutter and Foster down low, and then Dennis Rodman gets his hand on the ball. Tony is able to go up and finish. They're having a hard time defending Tony with his inside and his outside game. Kukoc is 5 for 5 right now, but more importantly, he has 4 layups. Now what that'll do is that'll open up his perimeter game, and you see he just dropped a 3.
Kukoc 5 for 5. The rest of the team 0 for 11. Roaring at the United Center. Malone's pass intended for Ostertag, broken up, and another Utah turnover.
You notice when Dennis Rodman came into the game, the intensity picked up right away on the defensive end, and Chicago got a little bit more pep in their step.
Jordan double team. Returns it to Pippen. Now fires. Still without a field goal, but Pippen is up on the offensive glass. And an offensive foul ensues against Pippen.
The last time the ball went into Malone in the post with Rodman, he's looking to pass. I agree with you. I think he's got to look to score here early. He's got to impose his will on Rodman. Take some chances. Get it to the basket.
He has it against Rodman. The pass for Ostertag. And Utah again loses it. Straight times Malone had it in the left block and then gave it up inside, intended for Ostertag. Both times they lost it. Hornacek on Pippen. Rodman hits the reverse.
They're looking to exploit Pippen against Hornacek, the smaller guard. Pippen posted him up. Ostertag came for the double team. Rodman slid right behind him for the layup.
Malone over Rodman, hits the jumper.
And that was an aggressive move. Even though he didn't get to the basket, he put the ball on the deck, made a good hard dribble, pulled up and shot it. That's what he's going to do. Put the pressure on the defensive man.
And Doug, when you're playing against a great defender like a Dennis Rodman, he's not going to go for many feints.
Pippen misfires on the 3, but Utah touched it last as it went out. In 10 finals games over the last 2 years against Chicago, Karl Malone has had only one truly huge game. 37 points in Game 3 last year at the Delta Center. He averaged 27 points for the season and then 30 points against the Lakers in the Western Conference Final. He's averaging only 20 points a game in this series, and almost none of those points have come in crucial moments. Kerr is in for the first time. Here's Steve with the ball. Last 20 seconds of the quarter. Tied at 16. Jordan. There's his first field goal. Utah looks to tie as the period draws to a close. 3 seconds. Isley to Morris, and Chris Morris with an air ball at the horn. Minutes gone by in Game 5. Chicago, a victory from title number 6. Up by 2. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
It ties as J.D. Power and Associates' most appealing minivan. It's also winner of the Automobile Magazine All-Star Award. And now, it's the winner of the Total Quality Award for Best Ownership Experience. Presenting the new Chrysler Town & Country LXI. Now, select customers save a total of $2,000 on Town & Country. Chrysler, engineered to be great cars.
On June 26th,
I'ma smack that mustache off your face.
you won't believe your ears.
Oh, Mrs. Doolittle.
Yeah, baby.
Dr. Doolittle.
Stop talking to me!
Sorry.
Rated PG-13. June 26th.
He's sold more records in Bulgaria than anyone. He's world famous in most non-English speaking countries. He's Yablo. And Windy Creek is proud to present his ocarina renditions of timeless romance classics. You'll cherish these much-loved melodies.
Hey, trust your own taste, not what somebody else tells you is popular. You can get a certificate for a free CD from an artist you choose if you win the Sprite Under the Cap game.
One day, science will create a pill for men's hair loss. That day is today. Introducing Propecia, the first pill for men with certain types of hair loss. In clinical studies, the vast majority of men, 83%, maintained their hair count, and most, 66%, regrew some hair. You may need to take it daily for 3 months or more to see results. Propecia is for men only. A small number of men experience certain sexual side effects. Each occurred in less than 2% of men. Women who are or may potentially be pregnant must not use it or handle broken tablets because of the risk of a specific kind of birth defect. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist and read the consumer information they can provide. It may look like just another pill, but for men who want to treat hair loss, it's a beautiful thing to behold. Propecia, helping make hair loss history.
Scottie Pippen now is going to be the guy down to double team, and Ostertag's going to dive, and you're going to see he tries to force the pass. We'll see who's open. This guy's got to work to the open area because he's covering. This pass will be right open right here, and you can shoot the jump shot. Instead, they forced it in twice and got 2 turnovers.
Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, thanks, Bob. During that end of the quarter, Jerry Sloan told us, guys, all right, now we've had our laps. We're only 2 points down. We've turned the ball over 5 times. We've missed 4 layups. We have another laps like that during the game. There won't be any game on Sunday. There won't be any more games because the Bulls will win the championship. Get your heads in the game. Bob?
Thank you, Jim. And Sloan gets Shandon Anderson into the game. Jordan sitting as the second period begins. Malone over Rodman and got it. This is what he has to do. Whether he misses the shots or not, he's got to go in there. In addition to the jumpers, Zeke, he's just got to bogart some baskets like he did there.
Yeah, you either got to get an offensive foul or make Dennis Rodman foul you. You got to get to the basket.
Tied at 18. And a whistle away from the ball.
See, the thing that I like that he's doing right here is taking his time. Now he puts it on the floor. Now he's using his strength, his leg muscles to barrel into the lane. Dennis Rodman is not a shot blocker, but he's a great finesse and position player.
Karl Malone, who has 10 points, now picks up his first foul. Ball poked away. The Bulls still have it. 19 on the shot clock. Pippen against Morris. Isley's on Kerr. Scott Burrell in for the first time. Guarded by Shandon Anderson. Kukoc has been hot. And he stays that way.
What a great up and under move. Tony Kukoc gets the defender off his feet. The little lean in. That's a tough shot.
He has 15 of Chicago's 20 points. Shandon Anderson, little jump hook, no. Pippen the rebound. Rodman looking for the cutters. Burrell fires a 3. He back rims it, and Malone takes it. Intended for Malone, broken up and stolen by Burrell. Kukoc. Pippen fakes the 3, takes it into the lane, but lost it, and it went off Scotty's foot. Utah reclaims it, and we step aside for just a moment.
If necessary, Game 6. Sunday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on NBC.
Some call it crude.
You hired me to find your girl, and I did. And then the truth is, I started to like her.
Bizarre. And obnoxious behavior.
Are you making all that big noise?
But they call it love. From the directors of Dumb and Dumber and Kingpin, Cameron Diaz, Matt Dillon, Ben Stiller, there's something about Mary. Rated R. July 15th, only in theaters.
Nissan has a $100 challenge that says you'll like our 98 cars and trucks better than Honda and Toyotas. Just test drive any new Nissan from now till July 6th. Then if you still buy or lease a new Honda or Toyota within 30 days, you get $100. So, are you ready for the Nissan $100 challenge? Better yet, our Honda and Toyota. The Nissan $100 challenge. Nissan must receive validated test drive form with required documentation by 8/31/98. Significant restrictions apply.
Bud.
Wise.
Oh, boy. Bud.
Wise. Wise.
Louie,
What?
just say the line.
That's what I'm doing.
No, you're not. You're going wise.
These are my interpretations of the part.
This isn't Shakespeare. You're replacing a stressed-out frog.
Hey, Frankie, you know what they say?
What?
There are no small parts, only small lizards.
Nobody says that.
I do. I say it all the time.
Bud.
Wise.
Bud.
Wise?
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Michelin, celebrating 100 years of innovation because so much is riding on your tires. By the new Nissan Altima. Nissan, life is a journey. Enjoy the ride. And by Propecia. Talk to your doctor today.
Our overhead shots are courtesy of the Goodyear blimp Stars and Stripes, based in Pompano Beach, Florida. This year, Goodyear is celebrating its 100th anniversary and 73rd consecutive year for its blimp operation. Field goal shooting thus far in this series, Utah is averaging 79 points a game. 22 points less than they averaged during the season. Even if you take out the 54-point game 3, they're still well beneath their usual output. More than anything else, Chicago's defense is the story of this series thus far. Stockton with a miss. Carr in for the first time, but his pass is picked off by Jordan.
Bob, I think that's 7 turnovers already for Utah. They are not getting the shot attempts. And remember, Chicago shot 37% in game 4 and still won.
Right now, Pippen and Malone are sitting. Kerr from Rodman, and Steve Kerr still can't connect. He's made some important individual plays in this series, but his shooting touch has been way off. Anderson bounces it through a crowd, and again they turn it over. Jordan pulls up and misses. Rebound Isley. Man, has Utah been sloppy with the basketball when they can ill afford it. One loss from elimination on Chicago's home floor. And Isley's pass is broken up and taken by Burrell. It goes out of bounds and a whistle from Joey Crawford.
Bob, John Stockton has got to get the ball. That's 4 turnovers right now for Howard Isley. He's really struggling. Jerry Sloan's gone to a smaller lineup. This team cannot turn the ball over because they're going to have a struggle to rebound.
Chicago touched it last in the loose ball battle as Hornacek replaces Isley, so Utah will have it from underneath. Stockton driving, reverse, can't finish it. Anderson is there and throws it away.
Doug, it doesn't surprise me that both these teams are playing bad right now, because when you're trying to close a series, your emotions are driving 100 miles an hour. And Utah right now is in a desperate position because they're trying to hang in there. So when you get that emotionally wound up, it's hard to keep your timing in rhythm. In the second half, they'll settle down, though.
Utah with 10 turnovers. Chicago with 6. Make it 7. Stockton comes away with it, and Kerr fouls him.
The Bulls are so good defensively, they can sink in the post and help. So the reason Jerry Sloan has gone to a smaller lineup is to have better ball handling on the floor. But with 9 turnovers, that's not working for him. These guys, Isaiah, as you said, they've got to settle down. Make that 10 turnovers now. I'm sorry.
And a whistle from Bennett Salvatore. An illegal defense warning against Chicago.
So you got a good ball handling team out there for Utah and a good offensive unit. However, now you're really small in the backcourt, and either Hornacek or Stockton is forced to guard Kukoc or Jordan.
The ball was kicked. Kerr doesn't think so. Utah's going to keep it with a fresh 24. We are 4 minutes and 13 seconds into the second quarter, and each team has scored 2 points in this period. That isn't all good defense. Some of it is poor execution. Hornacek, and they throw it away again. Their 11th turnover.
If Chicago was shooting any kind of percentage at all, they'd be up 15 points right now. If Chicago's shooting poorly, Utah's not getting any shots.
To call this ragged would be kind. Rodman screening for Michael. And he's bumped and fouled. It's number 1 on Antoine Carr. Carr was asked about the Game 3 blowout when they lost by 42. They asked him, have you ever been in a game like that? He said, hey, I used to play for the Sacramento Kings. Yeah, I have. Here's Burrell losing it. They just trade turnovers in a very curious second period. Hornacek driving on Jordan. Finding Anderson. Now Carr open for the jumper that rattles in and out. The tip isn't there either. Out of bounds to Chicago. Maybe both these teams need a break. We will provide it. Back after this.
Every player has a weakness. Tonight, Mr. Grant Hill's weakness takes center court.
There's only one place to go for the irresistible taste of America's favorite fries. Did somebody say McDonald's? Enjoy the fries that have earned the right to be called America's favorite fries.
Time, Newsweek, the New York Times, the Los Angeles Times, USA Today, People, and Siskel and Ebert agree. The Truman Show is the movie to see this summer. The Truman Show, rated PG, now playing everywhere.
The High Life man knows that if the pharaohs had duct tape, the Sphinx would still have a nose. We salute you, duct tape. You help a man get to Miller time.
This is a new Nissan Maxima, a new Altima, and this is the Nissan $100 Challenge. Test drive a new 98 Nissan between now and July 6th. Then if you still end up buying or leasing a new 98 Honda or Toyota car or truck within 30 days, we'll give you $100. Of course, if you buy the Nissan, you'll get something even better, a great car at a great price. The Nissan $100 Challenge. Nissan must receive validated test drive form with required documentation by 8/31/98. Significant restrictions apply.
Ever since Nikki McCrae was a little girl, she wanted to be a professional basketball player. She spent years in the playground working on her game, and now she's taken that game to the nation's capital. She's the shooting guard for the Washington Mystics.
Three-time PGA Seniors champion and leading money winner Hale Irwin headlines the field at the Bell South Senior Classic at Opryland this weekend on NBC.
Well, the Utah turnovers tonight have really hurt them. They trail by only 2 points, but they're not getting any shots at the basket. You see the turnover by Shandon Anderson out of the corner. Antoine Carr, Howard Isaac with the unforced error. Jeff Hornacek in a hurry leaves his feet. Another turnover. When we look at the story, game 1, the Jazz won with only 13. Game 4, it was a game right into the last minute. These two games were trouble when you get that many turnovers, and tonight, Utah's on pace to do that.
And Doug, how about this? Utah had been doing very poorly on the offensive boards earlier in the series. Well, in this first half, they already have 9 offensive rebounds, but 0 second chance points. Malone and Pippen both back in. Chicago up by 2. Pippen around Morris, and Morris reaches in and fouls him. Picking up his first. The score was 18-16 after 1. It's 20-18 almost halfway through the second. Jordan just 1 of 6 from the floor. Changes that a bit.
Now what Utah must guard against here is a big Chicago run. I sense that they're getting ready to try to turn on the Jets.
Anderson connects on the turnaround.
That's been the whole series. Anderson in the block. They go to him, and he's been able to score down there. He's been a weapon. Actually, he's been their best low post player in this series.
As Pippen backs away. It'll be Michael to beat the shot clock and hit it.
Isaiah, that's what you talked about. Michael, 2 field goals in a row. If Jerry Sloan feels a spurt, he's got to use his timeouts wisely tonight.
Anderson slings it into the backcourt and tack on another turnover.
When you're not used to getting double teamed, sometimes you get in a hurry. The Bulls are double teaming Shandon Anderson, and Isaiah, he's trying to do it too quickly. Read the double team, find the open man. You're playing 4-on-3 somewhere else.
Pippen to Kerr. Now he has it back. Hornacek has him on a switch. Scotty looking to use his height advantage. But Hornacek's all over him. 3 on the shot clock. Pippen, a lunging shot that is no good. And the rebound is taken by Stockton. Pushing it up the floor, bumping with Pippen. Dealing to Morris, who was fouled as the shot spills off.
Now you watch Michael Jordan in the low post as he gives Anderson a little bump and just turns right into the lane. You notice he went right into the middle. Now watch this. I'm going to take you to the middle. Oops. No, I'm not. I'm going to shoot the fadeaway J on the baseline. Always gives you a different look, so you never know where he's going. That's why he's so effective in the low post. Never see the same move twice.
Relatively slow start for Michael. As you know, if the Jazz can stave off elimination, we'll go back to Utah on Sunday, Game 6. We'll be on the air at 7:30 Eastern Time. With, at that point, Chicago holding a 3-2 lead. That's if the whole thing doesn't end tonight. Game 6, Sunday on NBC. Kukoc has returned to a substantial ovation. Harper's also back in. Morris hits the first free throw.
Now this is Chicago's speed team out on the floor. Let's see if they try to pick up the defensive pressure, try to maybe do a little half-court trap or some full-court traps after free throws.
Anderson's got Michael. Pippen with 6 on the shot clock. Michael baseline fadeaway. High archer, good. A beautiful rainbow, and he's beginning to feel it now. Hornacek in traffic, tough shot, won't fall. Rebound batted around and finally taken by Kukoc.
If Utah scores under 6, Chicago scores, I take a timeout.
They don't as Pippen misses the 3. but it's out of bounds to the Bulls.
Perfect defense here by Shandon Anderson, but there's really nothing you can do. Look at the rainbow touch. That's just sweet. I mean, that's just nice, Doug Collins. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, and it's so discouraging when you're guarding him twice. He's now beat the shot clock with those kind of shots.
Here he is backing in on Anderson. Double team. They swing it over to Harper. He misses off the baseline, and Morris takes the rebound. There's a whistle in the backcourt as Rodman and Malone were entangled, and it's number 1 on Dennis.
Keep our eye on Dennis Rodman. He just grabbed him. Not a whole lot there. He just sort of grabbed him by the waist.
I thought Malone tripped Dennis Rodman right there.
Sure looked that way.
I think he grabbed him at the waist, and then I think he tripped Rodman. I think that was the second one.
Here's Malone. Nice pass to Morris. And a foul in the lane. It's number 2 on Pippen. Pippen is 0 for 5 from the floor in this first half. He hasn't scored, but he does have 7 assists.
So that's what happens, though. If Scottie Pippen goes a little bit cold, Tony Kukoc picks up the slack. It seems like 2 of those 3 guys, Bob, are always getting him some points.
Hornacek behind Malone's screen. Got it.
See, I like what they're doing there. Instead of having Stockton in the screen and roll, they got Hornacek on the screen and roll because Hornacek can come off and shoot the jump shot.
And Bennett Salvatore says hold on.
So they're trying to get Hornacek involved. They're running a little screen and roll here. Jordan gets caught up on the screen, and Hornacek can pull up and hit that little J right in the mid-range area.
Hornacek, meanwhile, just committed his 2nd foul. Each team has 4 team fouls. Each will be over the limit with their next one. 3:10 to play. Anderson poked it away, but Chicago keeps it.
Did you see Michael Jordan? He said, throw to my outside hand, my left hand, not my right hand. He'll pick that one off, which he almost did.
Malone still not getting much help from Stockton and Hornacek. Here's Pippen. Doubled. Finds Michael, who is stripped. And Hornacek takes it. Ahead for Malone. Rodman racing back. Malone slams it.
Uh-oh. Malone gives Rodman a shot. Gave him an elbow after the play. And Billy Oaks saw it, Bob.
Hey, but you know what, Doug? I'm glad Karl Malone in Utah finally got mad. This is the first time in 5 games that one of the players has gotten a technical foul. It's about time you showed some anger and a little emotion and say, hey, I'm not going to take this anymore.
Well, I agree with that. It's a technical foul. Michael was shooting. Remember the possession before, they got caught up a little bit, and Karl tried to trip him. So I think Malone is saying, look, if we're going to go down, we're going to go down physically, and he's the guy that's going to have to do it.
But see, that's the soldier's mentality of a Karl Malone. He's not the leader, but he's going to fight for your team, and he's going to put up a good fight. You see him here on the fast break as he leaks out, and watch out there. Say, okay, big man.
I don't know. That's kind of iffy.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a technical foul. However, the referees right now are trying to say, hey, we got Malone and Rodman right there. We're not going to let it get out of hand.
Highly questionable. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Nissan has a $100 challenge that says you'll like our 98 cars and trucks better than Honda and Toyotas. Just test drive any new Nissan from now till July 6th. Then if you still buy or lease a new Honda or Toyota within 30 days, you get $100. So, are you ready for the Nissan $100 challenge? Better yet, our Honda and Toyota. The Nissan $100 challenge. Nissan must receive validated test drive form with required documentation by 8/31/98. Significant restrictions apply.
He's in deep focus out there, Bob.
I finally got all the chrome off this video.
Find me some peanuts and crackers.
From the director of The Naked Gun and starring the creators of South Park, Basketball, rated R.
Hello from Plank
Creek Road, where Sparky has just won the National Flatbed 400. Way to go, Sparky. Ice House is like a dream come true. It's ice brewed, so there's never any watered down taste, just more of what you want in a beer.
Hey, back off, chunky boy.
Thanks, and enjoy.
Here's what's ahead on the Prudential Halftime Report. More of Ahmad's conversation with Michael Jordan, plus Hannah Storm's live interview with Bulls chairman Jerry Reinsdorf about the future of this team. The Prudential Halftime Report at the break.
Well, you see Malone going in here for the fast break. And Ahmad told us it actually looked worse with the naked eye than it does in this replay. And I think the officials are trying to get control of this game right away. I don't think I would have called that, but if you go back to the last play with Malone and Rodman getting tangled up, and now this play, you see the officials are really trying to keep a tight lid on it.
Let's go over to Jim Gray.
All right, Bob. Jerry Sloan asked Karl Malone during that timeout, was it a foul? He said, no, that's a bad foul. As we watch Michael Jordan go in, fouled by Shandon Anderson. He said, that's a bad call. I didn't even get a good shot in. Bob?
Thanks, Jim, and nice job covering the play-by-play in the meantime. Jordan hit the technical a moment ago, which gave Chicago the 1-point lead. Now he has a chance for a 3-point play, and he scored 12.
Remember now, Chicago loves to spurt at the end of quarters. This is going to be a 4-point little swing here, a technical, and then a 3-point play. Right now, the Jazz, poise and patience, execution. They can't let the Bulls push it up to 6 or 8 here.
Hornacek holding it, and finally to Malone, playing a little two-man game. Now Stockton off Malone's hands, stolen by Jordan. Pippen on his right. Morris is back. Scotty is fouled.
See, Isaiah, when Utah is throwing that ball in the post, I think they've got to throw a cutter through there. As they're standing, what the Bulls are doing is sinking in the lap and then getting right back out, and they're getting bogged down, not getting much movement.
That was great help defense that time by Dennis Rodman. As Stockton went to drive baseline, he came off his post player. And you watch Rodman guard Malone as he comes over and he shuts off the baseline, forces the turnover because of his size. That's just great post defense. Bob Knight, Dean Smith couldn't have taught it any better. By the way, you too, Doug Collins.
Pippen was scoreless until those 2 free throws.
On a 6-point run now.
In the lane, Rodman is hit with a foul despite his protest. You know, when the games are as low scoring as these games generally have been, each basket, each difference in the score takes on a disproportionate weight. A 6-point lead in a game that's 32-26 with 2 minutes to play in the half seems kind of big.
Well, Bob, the Kings that used to be Isaiah Thomas and the Detroit Pistons, you would look up at a scoreboard and say, we're only down 6. But to get 6 points against them, it would take you about 12 possessions. That's how good they were. That's how good the Chicago Bulls are defensively also.
And when one of the most reliable free throw shooters in the league misses, that doesn't help your case either. Has Chicago played great defense? Absolutely. Has Utah missed open opportunities? Yes. Hornacek fails to hit either one. Jordan can't make it 8. But Pippen, in between 3 Jazz players, pulls down the offensive rebound. It'll still be Chicago ball. Looking to open it up before halftime. It's Michael slipping, regaining his footing. Pippen knocked away. Out of bounds to Chicago again.
about those second shots. I know we've talked about it the whole series. But what it does, you get more field goal attempts when you turn it over, when you give up offensive rebounds, so you can shoot under 40% and still win games.
Morris on Kukoc. Tony into the lane. Lost the ball, but was fouled. Couldn't quite retain control of it in order to finish with the basket, but he's coming to the free throw line. Both teams are over the limit. Tomorrow on NBC, Paul Hogan, Beverly D'Angelo, and Cuba Gooding Jr. star in the comedy Lightning Jack, followed by Profiler. It all begins at 8, 7 Central tomorrow night on NBC.
Utah's got to pull out now a play that's a go-to play for them. They need a basket. Whatever they can do, whether they get to the free throw line, make their free throws, they've got to get a play here that they can execute and get a score.
Kukoc misses 2, so he's stuck on 15 points for the moment. Malone, a little bit of room. Hits it over Rodman. 14 in the first half for Malone. Hornacek poking at it, but can't take it away from Pippen, and now Scotty wheels to the basket and hits off the glass with the left hand. Stockton on the drive. Brings it back outside to Shandon Anderson. Malone, double teamed. Stockton, 3 seconds to shoot. Got to get it off. Air ball, 24-second violation.
See, Stockton's got to shoot that shot. He had an open jump shot, and he passed it up, and he got his team in trouble.
Trying to drive on the baseline, and there's too many trees there. It's tall timber. Can't see out of it. Got to take those open shots when they present themselves.
I think you're going to see him try to throw maybe here. Go to Kukoc against Malone, I think, in an offensive set here to try to stretch him out and go one-on-one.
Bushler, who's a three-point threat, is in the game for the first time. Camped in the corner. Malone on Kukoc, all the way to the hoop. 17 points in this first half. Down court to Anderson, trying to get it back, and does just before the buzzer. A huge hoop for Shandon Anderson. And now Malone breaks it up at the other end. And that's the way the first half concludes. Chicago by 6 in pursuit of championship number 6. Ahmad with Michael. Hannah with Jerry Reinsdorf on the Prudential Halftime Report coming up next. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
This is a new Nissan Maxima, a new Altima, and this is the Nissan $100 Challenge. Test drive a new 98 Nissan between now and July 6th. Then if you still end up buying or leasing a new 98 Honda or Toyota car or truck within 30 days, we'll give you $100. Of course, if you buy the Nissan, you'll get something even better, a great car at a great price. The Nissan $100 Challenge. Nissan must receive validated test drive form with required documentation by 8/31/98. Significant restrictions apply.
Sometimes I dream that he is me. Got to see that's how I dream to be. Boom, 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 boom. I dream I move. I dream I move like Mike.
If I could be like Mike. If I could be like...
What's up, Mike?
I'm not going to sing.
For 75 years, Warner Brothers has brought you the faces you'll never forget and the moments you'll always remember.
Well,
Happy anniversary. To celebrate, we've created the 75th Anniversary Video Collection.
Yeah, happy 75th, Warner Brothers.
For every reason you love great movies.
Here's to 75 glorious years, Warner Brothers.
Now is the time to make them yours.
I've got mine.
Warner Brothers 75th Anniversary Video Collection.
Here's looking at 75 years, kid.
Select road. Validating tires. VF Goodrich. Approved.
What kind of road can you drive on with VF Goodrich tires?
Enjoy.
Any road you choose. VF Goodrich tires. Take control.
Within the largest village.
Let's enjoy the next day. You don't take it for granted. You know, in previous years, you probably have taken it for granted, but don't take it for granted this time.
Won 5, on the verge of maybe winning 6. Do you feel yourself getting full? You know what I mean? You're hungry or you're full yet?
No, you feel yourself getting full because each time that you win, it takes away a little bit of that hunger, you know, which is a challenge within itself. You know, it's a battle within your mind to find a challenge to go to that same place that you've been 5 times before, you know, and that's hard, you know. When people say, well, the first one was the hardest, no. The last one's the hardest because you're battling with yourself.
Are you starting to feel satisfied at least? You know, as an athlete, are you feeling satisfied? Because I know at times that we've talked, you say you're still searching for that perfect game, still searching to find in your mind greatness as you describe it.
I'm getting better. I'm getting at my peak. I'm getting at my limit. Physically, I think I am at my limit. Mentally, it's a lot of empty space that I don't know much about, but I keep forcing myself to learn more about the game. I am getting to a point where I'm maxing out my education about the game of basketball. And when you get to that point, it's a necessity to pass it. So where Dr. J was when I came in the game, I feel like I'm in a mirror and the face has changed from Dr. J to me.
You talk about the change, you talk about the passing on, your decision as to what you're going to do. What kind of timetable do you have on that?
It's not really a timetable. I don't want to put a timetable on it. I think it would hit me. It would come to me and say, well, evaluating all the things that have been done and all the decisions that have been made, and my feeling would tell me, hey, maybe this is a good time just to say, hey, I'm done.
Even as we watch Michael Jordan tonight try to lead the Bulls to their 6th NBA title, the question remains, is this Jordan's last game here in Chicago? When we return, we'll be joined live by Bulls chairman Jerry Reinsdorf. First, a message from Prudential and a word from the NBA.
We were just getting by with both our incomes. Now it's just me by myself and my son. And if I didn't have a life insurance, I wouldn't be able to pay my bills or do anything. No one knows what's around the next corner, what might happen the next day. And it's good to know that somebody's there to help you. Prudential's proved to me that when the chips are down, they're there.
This is where I go after school. There's always someone here to give advice and encouragement, and you never know who's gonna show up.
I know you're worried about that math test, but study hard and do your best, okay?
Whether shooting pool or helping with problems, having someone there for us really makes a difference.
Everyone wins when you volunteer. Team up to improve your community.
This week, golf's greatest championship, the U.S. Open. Thursday at 3 Eastern, the opening round live with Tiger Woods, Fred Couples, John Daly, Tom Watson, and more. Friday at 3, round 2 live. And on both Saturday and Sunday, 6 hours of live coverage of the leaders starting at 2 Eastern. The U.S. Open this week on NBC.
Welcome back. Joining us live now is Bulls chairman Jerry Reinsdorf. And Jerry, as your team is on the verge perhaps of winning a 6th NBA title, just one win away, the question is this the last time we'll see this team together?
Well, we haven't won anything yet, but I certainly hope that if we do win, that this is not the end of this run. Of course, it's not totally up to me. I mean, Michael and Scotty and 7 other players are free agents. They have their own decisions to make with respect to their families. But I don't want to be the person that breaks up the Chicago Bulls as long as they're winning championships.
All parties seem to agree that Scottie Pippen is the key to keeping this thing together. Michael says he won't return without him. What are your plans regarding re-signing Pippen?
Well, we certainly want to sit down with Scotty when we're allowed to do it. We can't until after July 1st under the NBA rules. But as soon as we can sit down and talk, we're certainly going to talk to Scotty, because if this is a championship team, we'll find out in another 24 minutes. I certainly think we should do everything we can to try to keep it together, but it's not just my decision.
Well, you brought up the date, July 1st. That's when Scottie Pippen becomes a free agent. Also, though, in all likelihood, the way things seem now, there will be an NBA lockout at that point. So what special problems does that present in trying to re-sign Pippen and keep the team together?
Well, I certainly hope there is not a lockout, and I know that Commissioner Stern is doing everything in his power to reach an agreement. But should there be a lockout, then that would put everything on hold until the lockout period is over.
Have you and Michael Jordan discussed a scenario under which he would return? Does it have to include Pippen and Jackson?
Well, Michael has never said that anything has to happen for him to return. What he has said to me is that he wants to take time over the summer to just decide what he wants to do. But obviously, Scottie Pippen is very, very important to Michael, because he knows that Scottie is the perfect complement to him. And I think if Scottie were not to return, that might have an impact on Michael's decision.
This is such an unusual situation tonight. Your team is on the verge of a 6th championship, and yet there's all this turmoil about the possible breakup of a dynasty before its time. How has it affected you?
Hasn't affected me at all. I mean, this is the 3rd consecutive year that we've been going through this sort of thing, and it really hasn't affected me. I'm just trying to enjoy the run and hope that I can survive the next 24 minutes.
Okay, thanks a lot for joining us, Jerry. We appreciate it. And basketball fans everywhere very anxious to see how this thing turns out. Meanwhile, last night, the WNBA began its 2nd season. We have a pair of games this weekend. Tomorrow, it's a rematch of last year's championship game with the New York Liberty visiting the Houston Comets. And on Sunday, it's Lisa Leslie and the LA Sparks in Phoenix to take on the Mercury. Leslie had 24 points and 12 rebounds in the opening night victory. Both games at 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 Pacific. The Bulls lead the Jazz by 6 in pursuit of title number 6. We'll send it back to Bob, Doug, and Isaiah for the second half right after these messages from your local station.
This has been the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by Prudential, bringing strength and stability to America's families through insurance, healthcare, real estate, and financial services.
I teach English as a second language.
Like?
The textbooks weren't, well, frankly, helping much. Then one Thursday night, we rolled in the TV.
Bad, or like naughty bad? Oh, not too bad.
We are so over.
I am over you. When were you under me?
Damn it, nurse. He's a hemorrhaging.
Hemorrhaging.
A hemorrhaging.
Very good, very good. NBC Thursday nights, a valuable learning tool.
In today's world, keep up with technology and you're gonna be on top. That's why 6 News got the best equipped helicopter in Charlotte, Airstar 6, plus Night Eye, technology that sees in the dark, SkyMax Doppler, live weather information from our entire viewing area, and SkyMax Viper 5D, dissecting the storm and showing you the danger first. At 6 News, we realize it takes more than technology to cover the news, but it sure does help. This is today's 6 News.
Well, the South loves trucks, it's all there is to it. For work or play, just get out and do it.
The truck stop of the New South.
A new Dodge.
The truck stop of the New South.
To find the secret of the new Ram Quad Cab, should you choose door number 1, door number 2, door number 3, or door number 4? Answer, all of the above.
The truck stop of the New South.
Plus, select customers now get a $500 bonus.
With Bell Atlantic Mobile, you can make important calls from just about everywhere, like the "Let's get together" call or the "I have a flat tire" call.
Just check it. That's because everything we do is for one reason. That moment when you make the "I need to check with the office" call.
Do you have any idea?
No.
When are you going to be here?
We should be back around 2. that, your call goes through. A cell phone is only as good as the network it's on. Choose Bell Atlantic Mobile.
There's a newscast in the Carolinas that people have their eyes on. It's a news that's growing.
Thank you for joining us.
Hiring the best people and getting them the tools they need to get the job done right.
Reports of severe weather.
It's a newscast that's listening, staying in touch with our community through all kinds of weather. It's a newscast that's earning our
Tonight,
trust.
we have team coverage on
Join the thousands who are making the switch to today's 6 News.
Experience SkyMax Viper 5D only on today's 6 News.
John Stockton heading back out toward the floor. He and Karl Malone have played together for 13 years without an NBA championship. Few pairs have ever played as long in the whole history of the league as teammates, and no two players have been on the same team as long without winning a title. And if something doesn't change in the next 24 minutes, that will be extended another year in that window of opportunity. Malone will be 35 in a month. Stockton's already 36. Gets narrower and narrower.
Well, Bob, Karl Malone needs some help scoring now. He's 7 of 12, has 14 points. The rest of his team, only 16. They've shot 7 out of 24, so he needs some help tonight because Scottie Pippen's been struggling for Chicago, but Tony Kukoc has stepped up and really helped Michael. So they've had 9 out of the last 11 quarters under 20 points. That's not all Karl Malone's fault. Somebody else has got to shoot the ball and put it in the basket.
Yeah, and the 1-2 punch has always been Stockton and Malone. And right now, Stockton only has 4 points. Started off aggressively, but he needs to continue. He needs to continue to keep driving it to the basket and stay in the middle of the floor and get his teammates involved.
More numbers as we bring you the Miller Lite halftime stats.
Well, again, for Utah, you see 9 turnovers in the second quarter and only 14 points, and Karl Malone doing his share. And for Chicago, it was Tony and Michael with 30 points on 12 of 19 field goals. The free throw shooting goes to Chicago. So right now, that it's Michael and Tony carrying the load for the Chicago Bulls.
When you look at the scores for Chicago, Tony Kukoc 7 of 7 with 17 points. And look at his shot chart. You know, 5 layups, got 2 perimeter J's. Look for Scottie Pippen to get involved. And when you look at Utah, you got Karl Malone with 14 points. The others need to step up. The last game, only Brian Russell was the only one to get into double figures. Karl Malone has been inside and outside and been very aggressive.
Although Pippen has only 4 points on 1 of 7, he's contributed 6 rebounds and 7 assists.
The movie is coming. 2 free tickets can be yours. Go to Oldsmobile. Drive the intrigue. Move quickly.
Intrigue by Oldsmobile. Drive the intrigue. See the movie.
This is for my grandmother, who showed me what real courage is, and for myself, who found it.
Ooh, hot. Sizzling. Summer's heating up because hot wings are back at KFC. Get 6 pieces for $1.99, 20 for $5.99. Summer, isn't it time for some really good chicken?
Some guys have all the look. Some guys have all the place. Some guys get all the grace. Some guys.
Play Pepsi Pop Culture. Just drink Pepsi or Mountain Dew. Match winning phrases and win tons of cool prizes. From cash to trips. Even a new Jeep Wrangler. Pepsi Pop Culture. Drink, match, win.
Challenged by childhood polio, his Olympic moment came with 1 billion people watching. He then ignited the spirit of the world. NBC, the home of Olympic heroes for the next 10 years.
Ahmad Rashad back at the United Center where the Bulls lead the Jazz by 6. Phil Jackson told his team at halftime they have to have better spacing in their offense. The way they're doing it now, Utah is too easily double teaming them. They also said too much dribbling on their offense. They want to run their offense off the pass, not the dribble. On the defensive end, they want to keep forcing the turnovers, block out a little bit better, and try to stop Utah from scoring in transition. Let's go down to Jim Gray.
All right, thanks, Ahmad. Well, Jerry Sloan's going to start Antoine Carr in the second half at center. He's going to move Karl Malone over to try and stop Tony Kukoc defensively. He's very unhappy with all the turnovers, 13 turnovers. He told his team, hey, guys, we can't expect to win this game if you do this in the second half. He's also unhappy with the layups. He wants his team to finish just 6 of 15 from the layups in the first half. Bob?
Jim, thanks. Third quarter underway. Malone operating against Longley. Trouble with the dribble, but recovers. Pippen gets a hand on it. 5 seconds to shoot. Malone will. And that's the way the third quarter starts. A good sign for Utah, although their offense was not executed well on that possession. Malone continues to shoot well, especially from the perimeter. 16 for Karl. Kukoc, the game's high man, with 17. Driving on Malone. Dishing to Longley, who can't hit, and Russell has the rebound.
See, Antoine Carr's in the game. He's playing Longley, and he can also make open shots.
And a whistle from Bill Oakes. A foul on Harper. Longley continues to struggle. He has not been as effective generally as Rodman has been defensively against Malone. And in game 4, he had only 2 points and 3 rebounds, and he hasn't done much offensively tonight either.
Well, he's really playing a power forward on offense, and I think it's taken it out of his rhythm. Normally, he likes to play in there closer to the basket. It's hard for him to play Malone.
Karl turns to face the basket. Shoots over Luke. 2 in a row to start the half.
See, Bob, the difference between Rodman and Longley is Rodman can body up against him and take that quick jumper and make him put it on the floor and give help. Longley has to back off and give him space, and he can make the shot against him.
A 2-point game again. Harper left alone for 3.
Now, that's a big shot for Ron Harper. You see how he felt after he made it, because now that stretches the defense, and they have to be honest inside with Hornacek guarding Pippen.
Harper's first basket of the night. Coming just when Utah was making some headway. It's Malone again, inside of Longley. 6 quick points for him at the outset of the third.
That was great spacing and great patience, and Stockton with a little lob over the top when Longley fronted in the post.
Malone has 20. Responding in game 5. Russell on Jordan. Single coverage. Now Stockton comes over. Michael loses it. Carr in the lane. Left hand, got it. A 1-point game.
Now remember, Kukoc has trouble with power. Isaiah, remember in the Indiana series with Dale Davis, Antoine Carr can give him that presence. He can score.
And Carr is a great offensive scorer, and he can get hot and get in a rhythm. He's one of the great streak post-up players in the game.
Jordan on Russell, into a crowd, dishes out to Kukoc. He is just on fire, and intermission did nothing to cool him off.
Well, how often have we talked when Tony Kukoc gets off to a great start, he gets great rhythm in his game, and that's been the case tonight.
He's 8 for 8. And a whistle inside as Longley tries to contend with Malone, and Luke picks up his second.
Karl Malone's gotten off to a great start in the third quarter. Now watch the space that Longley has to give him. He's worried about his quickness. He gets his rhythm, jumps up, and shoots the jumper.
They go back to Malone. Backing in on Longley. Looking for help. Now shooting one off balance, and he gets the roll on it to bring Utah back to within 1 and give himself 22. Jordan gathers in the miss. Longley bumping off Stockton, but can't finish it. Back comes Utah with a chance to take the lead. Hornacek for three. Off the front of the rim. Knocked away from Harper by Stockton, but a foul on John. It's his first.
Now you watch the steal on the other end by Stockton. Longley has a tendency to bring that ball below his waist, and when you bring it down there, those little guards like Stockton and myself, we like to get down there in vulture territory. Stockton needs to come down the court, settle down on the fast break. He had Hornacek for a wide open jump shot.
Jordan with 8 on the shot clock. The fadeaway isn't there. Rebound to Stockton. Longley poked it away. Malone recovers, shoots, and misses.
That was about one step out farther than his range, Bob.
Jordan scoops it up and misses. Pippen is there to clean it up. One.
Now you watch Malone working inside the post. Gets Longley on his back, makes sure that he's there, turns, wheels up underneath of him because Longley can't block his shot. That's where he needs to be, inside, and that's what he's been doing all night long.
Go to the finals, NBA.com.
Hey, everybody!
No matter what kind of day you've had at the office,
Get out of the way!
Warner Brothers invites you to join the gang and have a good time. Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, Joe Pesci, Rene Russo, and Chris Rock in a Richard Donner film, Lethal Weapon 4.
You really inspire me. Keep it up.
Rated R. Starts Friday, July 10th.
Introducing the all-new 1999 Grand Am. Its solid form design provides a stronger body structure so you can get down to some exciting business with hardly a squeak.
Solid.
Excitement, well built. The all-new Grand Am by Pontiac.
It just goes to show you that water can be fun, but not in your beer. That's why Ice House is ice brewed, so there's never any watered down taste. Just more of what you want in a beer.
Get in the house, Evelyn! It's another saucer!
Thanks, and enjoy.
Miller Genuine Draft presents even more basketball.
Karl Malone has been sensational tonight. You've seen with a great pull-up move on Rodman, having success against Rodman tonight, taking the ball to him. 2 scores there, and then Luke Longley steps out and shoots the jumper. Once again with the open jump shot. The front in the post, the lob over the top. And Karl Malone has been terrific here tonight, keeping his team in the game. You see right now, Luke Longley, he's 7 for 12 against 10 for 14, but Dennis Rodman, 4 of 6 for 8 points. Remember, the other night he only had 2 points against Rodman.
And in recognition of this look inside the game, Miller Brewing Company will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. Maybe as important as the points or the total shots, he's managed to hoist 18, but this is his first trip to the free throw line. In the first half, Utah had only 4 free throws, while the Bulls had 10. And for this series, Utah's averaging 17 free throws a game. Their season average was 32. Per game, the Bulls are taking 10 more foul shots than Utah. Part of the reason why they lead 3 games to 1. Kukoc working on Malone. And loses it to Karl. against Rodman. Utah looking for the lead. Stockton to the basket, and Utah in front. Stockton took a tumble, but he's okay.
That was a very physical series. Antoine Carr gave Rodman a shot. Stockton went in for a layup, and he got a shot upside the head on the fall.
Pippen misses the three. Hornacek back the other way. He pulls up and gives Utah a 4-point lead.
Antoine Carr has really helped this team. He's given them another offensive player. He's given them a physical presence outside. This is the best rhythm they've been in all night long, Bob.
Out of the corner, Harper. Tough shot. Can't hit it. Rodman chases the rebound down. Stockton knocks it out of bounds. It belongs to Chicago. Utah has outscored the Bulls so far in the quarter, 17-7. And he loses it, surrounded by three purple shirts. Harper and Stockton collide, and Harper is hit with the foul.
Bob, I get a sense here Utah is starting to get a little confidence right now. They're getting a little rhythm. Defensively, they're aggressive. Stockton has gone back, stripping at the post. Harper with his shoulder, and Stockton's back, and they call the foul.
The ball goes off Carr's hand at the other end, and Rodman takes it. Scotty, stutter step on Hornacek. Deal out to Harper. Kukoc hasn't missed one until now. Loose ball, 4-4, and a foul. It's on Russell. It's his second. Double technical, apparently, on Stockton and Pippen. No shots are taken. Double technical, Stockton and Pippen. Scotty inside, and an immediate whistle.
There's the elbow to the head from Scottie Pippen on Stockton. And then Stockton came over and said something to the official, and he got his technical foul, but he was not happy, as well he should not be.
Trying to slice through, knocked out of bounds, but no foul.
Now you see what Utah is doing right now. It's become a very physical game, and this is the way Indiana played them. Slowed the game down, pound them inside, and put your body on Chicago every time they move.
Michael again, got it, plus the foul. That's his first basket of the second half. It's the third foul on Russell, and Michael has 15 for the night.
Now Jordan, sensing the physical play, will go inside, try to get to the basket, knowing that the referees now will send him to the foul line, and he'll try to use Utah's aggressiveness against them.
And now another double technical. Hornacek and Rodman each slapped with a tee.
See, that's why you saw the technical foul early on Malone, because when a game like this, as tempers start to flare, these officials say we're going to try to get this under control. And that's why you've seen the multiple technical fouls here, the double technicals in this quarter.
Jordan completes the three-point play. Utah leads it by 1. And the whistle blows again. Man, can they call it any tighter? The officials are really taking charge here in the third quarter.
Bob, here's my concern right now if I'm Jerry Sloan. John Stockton's played almost 8 minutes this quarter. Normally he's resting by now. Isley really struggled in the first half. He's got to buy some minutes for Stockton here, but he's got to be concerned about what Isley's going to do when he comes in.
The foul was Jordan's third. Let's watch it. Oh, yeah, elbow to the face. Hornacek hit the first. And now the second. The Bulls are over the foul limit of the quarter. Utah will be with their next one. Carr is on Michael. Jumper over it.
You know, Antoine Carr did everything right. Michael just did it better. Kept him in front of him, had a hand in his face. That's why he's the greatest player in the game.
They go to Malone, who kicks it back out to Stockton. Carl with the turnaround. Good over Rodman, who fouled him.
Now you watch Michael recognizing the mismatch. He'll take Carr off the dribble, give him the step back, gets his momentum going backwards, then he falls into the J.
When is Jerry Sloan going to rest John Stockton? That's going to be critical in this game, Bob.
If I'm John Stockton, Doug, I don't come out of this game. I say I'm going to play it out. I'm fighting for my life. Don't take me out right now, Coach.
Malone on his way to his best game of the series. Has scored 26. His team is up by 4. Michael given a little room by Russell. Drives on it to the hoop. And he's got 20. Howard Isley pops off the bench, so apparently Stockton will get a rest soon. Malone doubled with Harper coming over. Now it's Rodman on Malone. Again, Harper tries to... The hook is no good. And Pippen clears it. Chicago looks to tie or take the lead with a 3. Jordan can't tie it. The line drive rebound to Russell. Again, Malone is their first option. Again, out of that left block where he likes it. Across the lane, contact with Rodman. And it's on Dennis, which will be his 4th. Not nearly as effective on Malone tonight as he had been earlier in the series.
But Isaiah, we've talked about this all along. Karl Malone, wheel in there and put the onus on the official. Is it a block or is it a charge? We call the foul on Dennis Rodman. Jerry Sloan likes this call. Karl Malone is going to shoot 2 free throws.
2:31 to play in the third. Utah by a basket.
Intrigue by Oldsmobile. Drive the intrigue. See the movie.
It's late, it's wet, and a flat tire puts you up against the wall. Wouldn't it be great if you could just drive to safety? Now you can with new Goodyear Aqua Steel Run Flat. Even with no air pressure, you can drive up to 50 miles at 55 miles per hour to safety. Aqua Steel Run Flat. Only from Goodyear.
Goodyear, Goodyear. Some call it crude.
You hired me to find your girl, and I did. And then the truth is, I started to like her.
Bizarre. And obnoxious behavior.
Are you making all that big noise?
But they call it love. From the directors of Dumb and Dumber and Kingpin, Cameron Diaz, Matt Dillon, Ben Stiller, there's Something About Mary, rated R. July 15th, only in theaters.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Miller Lite, who reminds you that whenever you feel good, it's Miller time. And by Intrigue by Oldsmobile, a sophisticated twist on a sports sedan.
The view from the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes, based in Pompano Beach, Florida. At the controls, pilot Richard Daniels from Burbank, California.
Karl Malone has been terrific tonight. He's taken a lot of criticism, but tonight he's put his team on his shoulders. You see the open jump shot where he buries it. Steps out once again against Longley and hits a medium-range jump shot. Now he's got it deep in the post, and he attacks Dennis Rodman. This is what he has to continue to do. Karl Malone has taken a lot of heat through this series, Isaiah, but tonight he's been the guy. Now the rest of his team has to come along with him. They have a 2-point lead, and they got to bring this home if they want to get to a Game 6.
Problem is for Utah right now, Malone is the only one who's involved. Offensively, they don't have a player yet who scratched double figures.
Only Malone scored in double figures for them in their horrible game in Game 3 when they scored only 54. And that would have also been true in the Game 4 loss had not Brian Russell hit a three-pointer at the buzzer to give him exactly 10. Malone makes it 54-50. Rodman with 4 fouls on the bench. Stockton also resting for Utah. Kukoc thought about it, gives it back to Pippen. Hornacek on it. Jumper over Jeff. Won't go, but the rebound bounces to Longley, who can't finish it, but eventually the tip is there.
Looked like Luke Longley got away with a little push in the back there to get that offensive rebound. Pressure's on Howard Isley here, Bob. 4 turnovers in 9 minutes in the first half.
After playing so well earlier in the playoffs and in Game 1 of this series. Malone. He continues to carry the Utah Jazz as they try to stave off elimination. Malone has 30. Michael, 4 seconds to shoot. Rebound to Isley, who saves it into Carr. Utah looks to increase a 4-point lead. Hornacek spins to the hoop and is fouled.
Now you watch Malone in the post. Jordan can't really help because he's guarding Hornacek, and Malone takes his time, turns around, and shoots the jumper right over Longley. And you watch Hornacek now getting himself involved, forcing the action, driving to the basket. Now he's on the free throw line with a chance to make 2 free throws and push this lead to 6.
The foul a moment ago on Kukoc was his first. This weekend, the WNBA begins its 2nd season on NBC. Tomorrow at 4 Eastern, a rematch of last year's championship game. Rebecca Lobo and the Liberty take on MVP Cynthia Cooper and the champion Houston Comets. Then Sunday, also at 4 Eastern, Lisa Leslie and the LA Sparks face Michelle Timms and Cheryl Miller's Phoenix Mercury. Over 17,000 fans attended the Cleveland Rockers opening night victory over the New York Liberty last night. Some interest in the WNBA.
Adam Keefe is in the game right now for Antoine Carr, who gave them a great 11 minutes.
Pippen, catch and shoot, and it spills off into the hands of Keefe. The pass from Hornacek hit the side of the backboard, but Longley, in the meantime, fouled Malone. That's 4 on Longley. Rodman also has 4 as they try to defend Malone.
Well, Utah was very fortunate here because this ball hit the corner of the board. Malone posting, they said Luke Longley grabbed his arm on that little post play, but stay active, keep going into post.
Now, this is when Chicago really gets in trouble because with Rodman with 4 fouls, Longley with 4 fouls, they become very tentative. And once you get past Rodman and Longley, Doug, they have no big men on the bench. This is, again, where the loss of a Brian Williams or a Jason Caffey may come into play.
The first one rattles out on Carl. Muttering to himself, as is his style, before releasing it. 1 of 2.
I tell you, Bob, if you can get a stop here, you're up 7, and to get a score, you go up 9. That means you outscore the Bulls 15 points in this quarter. That would be huge after the poor first half offensively.
Shot clock. Kukoc for 3. How big is that? The pass from Malone stolen by Pippen. He beats the buzzer from beyond half court. And despite Kukoc's 3 near the end of the period, it's still a huge quarter for Malone and the Jazz, down by 6 at halftime, up by 9 as we head for the 4th quarter. Meanwhile, Tony Kukoc with 22 points already has a career playoff high. We're back after these words from your local station. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Introducing the all-new 1999 Grand Am. Its solid form design provides a stronger body structure so you can play as hard as you like with hardly a rattle.
Solid.
Excitement, well built. The all-new Grand Am by Pontiac.
Jack Foley, famous bank robber.
From the creators of Get Shorty.
Stop! Get your hands in the air!
Don't point that thing at me.
George Clooney.
Be surprised with all you can get. Ask for it the right way.
Jennifer Lopez.
Like to get out and tussle a little bit?
We tussled.
Ving Rhames.
Don't expect a tip.
I'll just take your car.
And Albert Brooks.
Nice house. Thank you.
Out of Sight. Rated R. Starts Friday, June 26th at theaters everywhere.
You never forget the time when your team was crowned NBA champion. And although you can't turn back time, you can always relive the moments with the 1998 NBA Finals commemorative book and video. Call 1-800-715-6200 and get this season's highlights of the NBA champions' march to glory by owning the official 1998 NBA Finals commemorative book and video.
Jay's all new with Gwyneth Paltrow and Dwight Yoakam. NBC tonight.
Coming up on 6 News Nightcap.
She said, Mommy, puppy. And I said, that's not a puppy, that's a rat.
Services like pest control could take a hit under the proposed Mecklenburg budget.
I am mad about it. I don't like it.
But now you may pay more in taxes. I'm Sonia Gam.
And I'm Larry Sprinkle. Will we see the hot weather continue through the weekend? I'll have your SkyMax forecast.
Plus, locked out of your health club? See how to get your money back. And what's it take to be an Iron Man? The night after the game, stay with 6 News.
With Bell Atlantic Mobile, you can make important calls from just about everywhere, like the I'm working late call or the I'm on my way call. Because at Bell Atlantic Mobile, everything we do is for one reason. That moment when you make the my car won't start call. Are you all right?
I'm okay, Dad. But hurry.
Your call goes through. A cell phone is only as good as the network it's on. Choose Bell Atlantic Mobile.
SkyMax Doppler. Only on today's 6 News.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
Utah with its biggest scoring period of the series, a 29-point third, Enters the fourth quarter of Game 5, up by 4. The period will begin with Karl Malone, who has scored 30 points, resting at least for a while. But how long, Zeke, can you keep him out?
If I'm Karl Malone, I would stay out about a minute, and then I'll go back and tell Jerry Sloan, put me back in this game, and I'll finish it off, because right now they have the pace and the rhythm of the game the way they like it. It's a slow game, and you're not going to expend too much energy in this type of game.
Meanwhile, Stockton can't take much of a breather. He's back on the floor because Isley has been completely ineffective. Jordan guarded by Russell. Pippen, before he can take the shot, it's whistled off. The three won't count. Scotty is 0 for 6 from three-point range, and that could have gotten him untracked, but they wave it off. Foul on Keefe is his third.
Jerry Sloan has really got to keep an eye on this lineup right now, because Pippen and Jordan are in the game. You know they're going to try to go on a spurt here. So if he feels anything at all, call a timeout, get Malone back in the game. You cannot let Chicago go on a run.
Kerr hits the three. Three-pointers by Kukoc near the end of the third. And Kerr at the beginning of the fourth make it a one-point game. Foul apparently on Michael, and if so, that's 4 on him.
Bob, how do 2 possessions change the game so quickly? Utah in control, up 7, back-to-back threes, make it a one-point game.
Stockton looking for Anderson. They're kind of adrift offensively without Malone. That's one way to cure it, though, as Russell sticks a three. Back up by 4. Michael into the lane, dishes it back out to Kerr. And he can't hit his second straight three as it rattles in and out, and Longley grabs the rebound and is fouled by Carr. Malone's coming back. He sat out only a minute and 16 seconds at the start of the fourth.
I think that's a great substitution, because Antoine Carr played 11 minutes of the third quarter, and he has not played that many minutes. And you also were getting stagnant here. You were trying to post up Shandon Anderson against Michael Jordan. I don't like that matchup.
I would live and die from here on out with my 1-2 punch of Stockton and Malone.
Pippen. Scotty again. Turnaround. He's just 2 of 14 for the night. Stockton's going to have to carry the load in this fourth quarter, because I'm not so sure Sloan's going to trust Isley down the stretch. Here's Malone again.
So now what I loved about that, Brian Russell cut through, and when he did, Longley had to step back and give him some space. When they stand, the Bulls can dig and get back to their own people.
Malone with 33. Utah by 6. Scotty misses the three. Longley puts it to 4.
Scottie Pippen's having a horrible shooting night right now. He's got to get a little bit more smarter about the shots that he's taking.
Anderson into the lane and to the basket.
Remember, that's the guy that missed the 2 critical layups last year that might have won the game here for his team, Game 6, that would have pushed to Game 7.
Longley finds Michael, thinks about a 3, instead spins into the lane and scoops it up, no good. Rebound out to Russell. 3 on 2 if they hurry. Stockton for the slam that somehow fell. He actually missed it, but it popped up out of the basket and fell through, luckily for him and Utah. And now the Jazz has their biggest lead at 8. Look at this. Utah's been unlucky in some sequences in this series, but not this time. It's Utah by 8.
If necessary, Game 6. Sunday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on NBC.
Oh, it's really coming down out there.
Cats and dogs.
It hasn't rained this hard since last time I had to paint the garage.
Fan can't work in the rain. Pity us.
Is that what you're going to do all day?
Honey, I can't hear you. The rain's too loud.
The weatherman said it was supposed to be nice today.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Eddie!
It's only one man. It isn't just one man, damn it. It's Zorro.
This summer, if it's heat you're looking for,
No bad.
if it's action you're ready for,
No bad at all.
he's the one man you've been waiting for.
You know, Zorro, it could be anywhere. Did you miss me?
The Mask of Zorro, rated PG-13, opens July 17th.
T to the A. Toyota is the truck I drive every day. Not only for business, not only for play, it's what I'm rolling in when I'm around the way. From sun up to sundown, I'm all over town. Just me and my Toyota getting down for a great deal and a driving thrill. Toyota, for real. Peace every day.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. By the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's? And by Toyota. Every day belongs to you. Make it count. Toyota every day.
Once again, our thanks to Captain Richard Daniels and the crew of the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes for tonight's overhead shots.
The importance of cutting when you throw the ball in the post instead of standing. What happens is, now watch Luke Longley as this ball goes into the post right here, and you make the cut. Longley's going to drop just enough to allow Malone to turn and get the shot. He has to protect against the cutter, freeze it up in rhythm. That's why you've got to make the Bulls move. You cannot stand and let them dig into the post and then recover.
Malone 14 for 22. Utah as a team, an incredible 14 for 18 in the second half. Jordan spinning, popping, missing. Rebound to Malone, acting like he wanted it. Stockton playing heavy minutes at age 36. 6 points, 10 assists, 5 steals, only 1 turnover. Malone into the lane. Doesn't get the roll this time, and Pippen snatches it down. Kerr, room for a three.
Steve Kerr hits huge shots.
And Utah throws it away with exactly 8 minutes to play. And Chicago gets it back down by 5.
See, if you're Stockton, you got to be smarter right now. Call Malone down into the post, and don't try to go at Anderson. Get the ball to Malone in the post.
Hold on, says Bennett Salvatore.
Steve Kerr in the open floor, nobody covering him. Hits the big three. That's 2 threes now he's hit to keep his team close.
Chris Morris just picked up his 4th foul away from the ball. It's Utah's 3rd team foul. The Bulls have only 1. Michael with room and knowing what to do with it.
Bob, you got to go back now to Karl Malone and Stockton. They have got to carry this team right now.
Michael, meanwhile, has 22. pass and give it to Malone. And he has 35. Utah by 5. Jordan deals to Longley, who connects off the baseline.
How about that shot? Luke Longley has struggled all night long and steps out, and Michael Jordan trusts him enough to give him the 18-footer.
Trying to back in on Longley. Instead, his pass eludes Morris, but there to pick it up as Russell beats the shot clock and misses the 3. But it's taken by Malone. Utah with more success on the offensive glass tonight than at any time in the series. Russell poked away, taken by Morris. Russell again, got to force it. And Chicago comes away with the ball. It's Michael. No shot, foul as he made his move. And it's 5 on Chris Morris.
Now you watch Michael Jordan as he reads the screen and he pops out for the little 15-foot jump shot. And then on the other end, watch as he takes it to the basket and finds Longley on the penetration. Longley squares it up, shoots the shot over Malone. And you're watching the NBA on NBC.
There's no doubt about it. Americans like to win. We strive to be first, always, and in everything. So it only makes sense that more of us want to drive the best. Toyota Camry, America's #1 selling car.
In 7 days, the truth is something you never guess. Fear it. Trust no one. Face it.
We are close to something.
Fight it. The X-Files, rated PG-13, only in theaters.
How to speak Australian. Hors d'oeuvres. Beer. Foster's, Australian for beer.
It's a fast-paced world for small business today. To stay on top, you need to react to change with lightning speed. That's why we're introducing Kinko's Express, the new 24-hour self-service area that lets you get things done fast. Kinko's Express, the new way to office.
Tiger Woods, Ernie Els, David Duval, Justin Leonard, Phil Mickelson. They're talented, confident, and have youth on their side. Generation Next has their sights set on golf's greatest championship, the U.S. Open. Coverage begins Thursday on NBC.
Either Karl Malone is going to personally take this thing back to Salt Lake City, or he's going to go out with guns blazing. He's 15 of 24 and looking to score every time he sees the ball.
Bob, I think Stockton really needs to get involved offensively. He's only got 6 points. He's only taken 7 shots. At the end of the game, when you look at the Utah Jazz, Stockton is the guy in the last 5 minutes who's their clutch player, and he's got to take over this game right now.
Kerr, confronted by Carr. Now Stockton catches up. Anderson's on Jordan. Michael into the lane. Ball not free. He thought he was fouled. Instead, it's out of bounds off Chicago.
Let's see who guards Antoine Carr. If it's a smaller player, I think you've got to go him in the post against Kukoc right now.
Stockton. Nice feed inside to Carr. And with the head fake, he shakes himself free for the layup.
See, he's got the power over Kukoc because Longley's playing against Malone now. That's a matchup that can hurt them, Isaiah, if they don't come back with Rodman.
And also Kerr is in the game now guarding Stockton, and Stockton has an advantage. He can see over Kerr to make passes.
Michael with 5 on the shot clock, spins into the lane and draws contact, which will bring him to the foul line.
Now, the last time down, Jordan thought he was fouled. He didn't get the call here, and it led to this at the other end. Jordan understands. Stockton now can get on the baseline against Kerr, sees the passing lane for Antoine Carr. But you have Jordan on the line, and more importantly right now, Doug, they're in the bonus. So every time Chicago gets fouled, they're going to the free throw line.
And meanwhile, Chicago, as Rodman returns, along with Harper, Chicago has only one team foul with 5:02 to play in the period.
Chicago now is going to their defensive lineup. Now they've got Harper and Rodman back in the game, but Antoine Carr is going to be guarded by Kukoc. So if they load up on Malone, he can score for them. They need not let him go out there without going to him a little bit.
Michael cuts it to 3 with the 2 free throws. Malone finds Carr from 20. Got it.
See, now with Malone getting off on the inside in the post, now Chicago has to come and double team. And when you come and double team, they have shooters on the floor.
And a whistle before Jordan releases the pass inside to Pippen, an offensive foul. It'll be Scotty, his 3rd.
See, what Antoine Carr gives you is a big man who can shoot. So if they're going to go down and double team, he can make the 15-foot shot. Keefe can't. Foster is streaky, and neither can Ostertag. They've gone to a smaller lineup, and it's been effective.
Stockton around Harper, then circling back. Running everything off of Malone. Backing in on Dennis. Stockton. 3 seconds to shoot, and Pippen fouled him. The basket doesn't count, but the foul is Pippen's 4th.
Bob, this is a critical possession. They're up 5. If they can push it to 7 or 8, this would be a big, big possession for Utah.
Pippen, Longley, and Rodman all have 4 fouls at this stage. Then scoops it up and in.
They're afraid to double team because everybody can shoot the ball now for Utah. They got to stay at home.
37 for Malone. Utah by 7. Knocked away from Jordan, recovered by Harper. They throw it away into the backcourt, and Utah will have it.
But I like what Utah is doing right now on the offensive end. They haven't gone to the pick and roll, and they keep going to Karl Malone in the post. In the last game, in the last 5 minutes, all they ran was pick and roll. Now you see all they're doing is feeding the big fella in the post.
Stockton underneath to Anderson, cutting baseline, but he couldn't finish it.
Like Tony Kukoc got a piece of it at the last moment. Big defensive play.
Jordan double pumping. And Bennett Salvatore spots a foul. Shandon Anderson's 2nd.
Look at Karl Malone take his time. Rodman is not a shot blocker, so he'll take his time. The little up and under that gives his team the 7-point lead. But, Bob, we talked about the importance of having some fouls to give. Right now, Chicago shoots the rest of the way.
That cuts it to 6. Flash bulbs popping all around the United Center every time Michael Jordan steps to the line. People trying to save the moment. Among the many possibilities, and who knows how it will play out, but among the many possibilities is that this is Michael Jordan's final game as a Chicago Bull. If they win it tonight, or his final game here at least, possibly, if they have to go back to Salt Lake City to finish the series one way or the other. of bounds to Utah. 6 on the shot clock. 2:49 on the game clock. Jazz by 5, and we'll be back.
It's so reliable, you could practically weld the hood shut and drive it forever. The new Corolla. And it has available side airbags. So don't be surprised if you feel safer in your new Corolla than out of it.
At Braun, we thought about shaving, so you could think about something else. Braun, smart thinking.
Shuffling papers all day long requires concentration. Someone hold my calls, I'm on a Big Mac vacation.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
To prove his innocence, an honest cop is taking the police hostage.
You are not in control!
On July 31st, negotiations are over.
Right now, I'm the only thing standing between you and an army that's just itching to take you out.
And the action begins.
Pull the trigger!
Samuel L. Jackson.
You want my blood? Take my blood!
Kevin Spacey.
I can't hold them back anymore. They're coming up.
The Negotiator. Rated R. Negotiations begin Friday, July 31st everywhere.
Wednesdays this summer.
Who defends the weak and abused?
Only one man,
let me help you,
can become anyone.
Hello.
Who the hell are you?
Jared Barber.
The Pretender. NBC Wednesdays this summer.
Antoine Carr has been a big factor here for the Utah Jazz. In the second half, he's 4 of 4. He's given them another guy on the floor that can shoot. So now you have to honor all their players. Bob, big here, 6 seconds on the shot clock. If you're Utah, you got to get a shot off and hopefully a score. It's 2:50 to go and you're up 5.
It'll be Malone to throw it in. Hornacek, catch, shoot, long. Rebound fought for. Carr tries to save it in, but Kukoc grabs it. Two and a half minutes to play. Jordan's jumper is off. Loose ball. Jordan's got it. Another try. Pittman's tip. And finally, a rebound battle and a whistle as Carr grabbed it, and Rodman reached around him and picks up his 5th.
Now, this is Rodman's 5th foul, so he'll be very tentative. You see him fighting for the loose ball rebound. Jordan's attacking the basket, trying to get to the foul line. No foul. Rodman reaches over, ties up Antoine Carr.
Here's Malone, 8 on the shot clock. Out to Hornacek. Off the dribble. Gets rid of it to Carr. Can he hit again? Yup!
He's been the man tonight. I don't know where he's been early in this series, but Antoine Carr, if they win this game tonight, will be the key factor.
They're up by 7 with 1:50 on the clock. Kukoc cashes the 3! He's got 25 on 10 of 11. Hornacek. Carr into the lane. Finds Anderson open. Rodman grabs the rebound. Jordan just 1 of 6 in this 4th quarter. That won't stop him, though. He was fouled, and he'll come to the line with 1:13 to play, and the Bulls down by 4.
Well, Antoine Carr hits a big shot. The ball goes loose. He finds it and puts his team up 7, but Kukoc comes back with a huge 3 to make it 4.
Michaels 8 of 9 at the line tonight.
And this was the big Kukoc three. Look at Malone playing so far off of him. You got to get up and put the defense on him. Make him put that ball on the floor. Nothing easy right now if you're the Jazz.
Two-point game. Just moments ago, it was 7. Malone from Stockton. Malone, 39 points, and personally pushing this series back toward Utah.
And Jerry Sloan likes what he's getting out of the big fella tonight. You watch Malone on the low block being very aggressive. Dennis Rodman has 5 fouls, so he really can't challenge him the way he wants to. Malone turns around, squares up, and watch Jerry Sloan gives him the pat on the back. Yes, big fella, we riding you tonight. Again, the square up and the shoot. And watch the reaction from Jerry Sloan. Utah Jazz have come to play tonight.
Dennis Rodman has said he can play Karl Malone any day. Maybe not this day or night.
The new zero-pressure Michelin. So revolutionary it won't go flat, even with the puncture the size of a golf ball, letting you drive up to 50 miles at 55 miles per hour. Just what you'd expect from Michelin.
Hear that? That's music to a man's ears. That's the sound of one friend keeping another friend cold. Thank you, refrigerator.
Ooh, hot. Sizzling. Summer's heating up because hot wings are back at KFC. Get 6 pieces for $1.99, 20 for $5.99. Summer, isn't it time for some really good chicken?
Every day I give 100%. Because I have to. And because I want to. So far, it's been worth it.
Toyota Camry, the #1 selling car in America.
The excitement of the WNBA returns to NBC. Saturday at 4 Eastern, a rematch of the inaugural championship game. League MVP Cynthia Cooper and the champion Houston Comets host Rebecca Lobo and the New York Liberty. Then Sunday at 4 Eastern, Lisa Leslie and the LA Sparks face Cheryl Miller's Phoenix Mercury. The WNBA on NBC.
With Malone leading the way, Utah is 20 of 30 as a team in the second half. They have 50 second-half points after scoring just 30 in the first 24 minutes.
Now, Bob Phillips substituted and put his shooters on the floor now, so he has Kerr out there instead of Harper in case they help. You got a three-point shooter. If a shot is missed, if you're Utah, 5 guys must be on the board. No second shots for Chicago now.
It'll be Kukoc to throw it in. Michaels got it, double team. Kukoc open for 3. Missed it. And Utah has the rebound. That's only the second miss of the night for Kukoc, but that one didn't even draw iron. Stockton. 12 on the shot clock. Carr brings it back out. Malone will shoot it. And miss it off the back iron. Chicago still has a chance. Michael, Tony again for 3. fouled and will shoot 3 free throws.
What a mental mistake by Karl Malone. I don't know if he was on the line there, but if not, that's a 3-point shot, so 3 free throws. Let's see if he's behind the line.
Yep.
Oh, 3 free throws. That is a costly mistake for Utah.
With 18.9 seconds. Kukoc, whose previous career playoff high was the 21 points he scored in the Game 7 clincher here against Indiana in the Eastern Conference Finals, has 26 tonight.
Now you got Harper coming back in for Steve Kerr. Remember, he got a big steal against Stockton for defensive purposes right now.
About the one thing now is Utah doesn't have to shoot. So if they get it down here across, they want to have it in the hands of a good free throw shooter. The shot clock is off.
Utah has not been to the line in this quarter. Chicago is perfect from the stripe until that shot. The rebound is grabbed by Russell, and he's never taken down a bigger one. There's an immediate foul, and it's Pippen's 5th. Hornacek to Stockton. They play a game of keep away. It's Carr. Kukoc chases him and fouls him.
See, John Stockton, to me, should have kept that ball in his hands. Even though Antoine Carr is hot right now, Isaiah, I would much rather have him shooting those 2 free throws right now with his experience, even though Carr has been hot.
I agree with you, Doug.
Carr steps to the line and cans a huge free throw. He's a 77% free throw shooter. 14-year veteran out of Wichita State. A 4-point Utah lead. Timeout Chicago. 10.4 seconds remaining in Game 5. And how important has Carr been down the stretch? This is Kukoc after missing the 3rd free throw. He had made the first 2, but couldn't make it a triple. We'll be back.
Baby, baby, it looks like it's gonna hail. Baby, baby, it looks like it's gonna hail. You better come inside, let me teach you how to jive and wheel. Oh, you gotta jump and jive and then you really gotta jump and jive and then you really gotta jump and jive and then you will.
Some of us know it will be all right, even when bad things happen, because we have someone to help see us through it.
Darn thing came out of nowhere. I just missed it.
I know. What do we do? I mean, should we just leave?
They'll be fine. Now, keep your eyes peeled. Where there's one, there's usually more.
Being in good hands is the only place to be.
Here at NBC, our research says that people missed over half the episodes of their favorite shows. Hey, it happens. Visitors show up, you get interrupted, whatever. So this summer, you get a chance to catch up on the episodes you might have missed. Because if you haven't seen it, it's new to you.
On the NBC network after the game, your local news, then The Tonight Show. If the Jazz win, if you want to stay with us for post-game coverage, switch over to cable and CNBC for the post-game report. And if, as now appears likely, but certainly not a given, if the Jazz win and stave off elimination, we go back to Utah on Sunday, 7:30 Eastern Time, with the Bulls then leading the series 3-2. Game 6, Sunday night.
Bob, Utah must put up some resistance here. They just can't let the Bulls get a quick one with, 2 seconds or whatever. They love to throw it in quickly to Michael, isolate, and let him go right to the basket.
Kukoc will play it in. Pippen, who's had a poor shooting night, out to Kukoc for 3. He hits missing. With 5.5 seconds, it's a one-point game. Into Stockton. Kerr chasing him. Stockton gets away. Ahead to Hornacek. And Pippen dives to foul him, but with only 1.1 second remaining. They couldn't catch them to foul him soon enough. Even though Kukoc hit the huge three, his earlier free throw miss is now the difference in the game. 1 point.
Championships are won at the free throw line. And you see Scottie Pippen fouled out here right now. And this game came in shooting extremely well, but tonight only 2 of 16.
And it will be Hornacek stepping to the line. When he does, he'll go to that distinctive rubbing of the right side of his face. As some of you may know, that's his signal to his children saying hello. In this case, not saying hello and I'll be home to start summer vacation, but maybe hello and see you at Game 6 Sunday. But even if he makes them both, the Bulls will have a chance to tie with a 3. And he won't make them both. The Bulls have 1 timeout plus a 20. A 2-point Utah lead. Timeout Chicago. Bulls ball at half court. All right, Coach.
Well, that miss is deadly because what it does now is a 2-pointer or 2 free throws tie the game for you. Before you were going to need a 3. They could throw the ball in, you could take a foul, and basically the game would be over. Now you got to be concerned. First of all, you know the Bulls are going to try to get the ball to Michael Jordan or Kukoc. You don't want to give up a 3, but at the same time, you don't want to foul here either. So you've got to try to contest the shot without fouling, and under no circumstances do you give up a 3-point shot. A 3 beats you, a 2 only ties you.
Kukoc, who has had a spectacular shooting night and now has 30 points, is 4 of 6 on threes and 11 of 13 overall from the floor. There's the last one.
See, if I'm Michael Jordan or Tony Kukoc right now, if I can get that ball and create some type of contact, I know we're in a bonus. If I don't have a clean look at it, I'm going to try to draw a foul and get to the foul line. I think if Chicago loses this game, I really think that they fell asleep at the wheel. I think they left home too early. Started celebrating, started thinking about, what we're going to do at the rally, the celebration, Michael Jordan's last home game. I think they lost a lot of their concentration.
Setting Grant Park up already for the anticipated celebration. Remember, if Chicago loses this game, it doesn't just extend the series, it places its ultimate outcome in doubt. Utah's very capable of winning games 6 and 7 at the Delta Center. The whole series can turn on a dime here.
Well, Bob, in our opening, we talked about this series wasn't nearly as lopsided as everybody was talking about, how many close games there were, and how many times Chicago came up with the key plays.
Quickly, let's go to Jim Gray.
Jerry Sloan really didn't have much to say, but what he did say, he said 3 times. No foul, no foul, no foul. Bob?
Utah breaks its huddle first. Hornacek, Stockton, Malone, Russell. And let's see who joins them as the 5th. It's Shandon Anderson.
What they'll do is they'll switch anything right now. So any screen, Bob, will be an automatic switch.
Burrell, who's a 3-point threat. Kerr, of course, also is. Kukoc and Jordan all line up near the top of the key. Harper's going to throw it in, and Hornacek will be on it. Delay of game warning. Intentionally taken by Utah, and a 20 taken in response by Phil Jackson.
Here's here's what happens. This is what you do. The reason you take the delay a game is you see how the other team is lining up. So you know what you want to do to defend it. So Phil called the 20, maybe to put another play out there to change the alignment of what he had. Now, my concern here is Jeff Hornacek on the basketball. I would back him off of the ball and get him back in the passing lane, because if he throws it in and they throw back to him, you can't get the shot off. So he really is out of the play with 1.1 second. He needs to get back in the play. Double team Michael, do something where you just can't let him throw in and catch and shoot, Bob.
Chicago has used its last time out of any kind. And now Utah will ask for a 20. A two-pointer ties it and forces overtime. A three-pointer wins the game and the championship. A miss sends the series back to Salt Lake City.
Doug, with Hornacek, if he backs off the passer, you know, Harper is such a good passer. You don't necessarily want him to get a clean pass to Jordan or the Kukoc with no pressure. You want to try to get that ball in the air so you can possibly get a deflection.
The only thing is, I don't know how big he is to be able to bother that pass. Is the only thing, Isaiah. My big concern is a guy miscommunicating on a switch or whatever, and a guy stepping out the three and catching it. You know, if you back off with that kind of time, you can play 5-on-4 defensively. I understand what you're saying. It's just coaching thought, what you want to think about, what you want to do in that situation.
For the record, that was a full timeout taken by Utah, but because it was a back-to-back timeout, the actual elapsed time is only 45 seconds.
They put Ostertag in, Isaiah, to put pressure all over the inbounds passer. So that's a good move. Now you've got a bigger guy who can smother the passer.
Yeah, you don't want that passer to get a clean look.
It'll be Harper to throw it in. Looking for Curran. Stockton knocked it away.
Now only 3/10 of a second. All you can get is a lob if they keep it at 3/10.
But Jackson is lobbying for some extra tenths to be tacked back on.
8/10.
And he's going to get something out of this. Let's see how much. 0.8.
You can still catch and shoot on this.
Into Jordan, a prayer. We go to Utah. Rip up the headlines. It is very much a series. Chicago leads it 3-2. Game 6 in Salt Lake City. And if a 7th is necessary, it's also at the Delta Center. And here's Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Bob. Antoine Carr, you turned out to be the difference in the second half. Why did Jerry Sloan put you in? Was it simply to try and change things up?
I think he wanted to bring a little bit of more energy into it, and I was ready to play. I wanted to get in there and bang. I knew if we got more physical with these guys, that we could probably turn up the heat on them.
Absolutely nobody expected this tonight. Where did you guys find the inner strength, and particularly Karl Malone, who's been so criticized?
Well, we don't believe in quitting ever. I think we get all ours from Jerry Sloan. He's a hard-nosed guy, and that's the way we play.
Are you now, would you consider yourselves to be in the driver's seat? Because this is how the series would be had it gone on schedule. 3-2 with the last 2 games, you the home court advantage.
Well, we're down 1 game still, so we have to go home, get ready, and try to get another one. And if we can get that one, then, hey, it's the final game.
Where did you find this offense here in the second half?
Well, I've always got the offense. It's just I got an opportunity to put the ball up, and I was able to put it in the hole.
Karl Malone's performance, how would you describe it?
Gritty, hard-nosed, and once again, great.
Congratulations, Antoine.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's send it down to Ahmad, who's with Karl Malone.
All right, thanks, Jim. The first few games, Karl, everybody was throwing dirt on you. You hadn't had a great game, pressure building, and then tonight you show up with a great game.
Well, I try not to think about all the stuff that was said, Ahmad. I just try to come out and play the same, get myself ready to play as usual. But sometimes you can't help but listen about it or whatever, and everybody had us written off or whatever. We needed to win a game here, we did. But I'm not looking for anything individual. I'm looking for it as a team. You know, we'll let everybody else do all the talking. I'm sure we was taking our doses, but the way this team responded was tremendous, and it showed a lot of heart, a lot of character. I have nothing to say about my game.
Having won this game this evening, what does that do for your confidence going back home?
One game at a time. Like we said, we needed this game right here, and one game at a time. And like I said, if we continue to play as a team, we got a good chance. We're going back home now. Shouldn't get in the comfort zone because those guys are going to give us everything they got on Sunday. But the most important thing, we won the game we needed to win as a team, not as Karl Malone, but as a team.
Well, Karl Malone, the mailman, has delivered here tonight.
Well, thank you.
All right, thanks, Karl. Back to you, Bob.
Ahmad, thanks. Malone has had bigger numbers offensively. He's had 50-plus point games, but all things considered, this might have been the biggest game of his great NBA career. Meanwhile, Michael Jordan shot 9 of 26, only 1 of 7 in the fourth quarter, and when his last-second prayer went unanswered, Chicago had to join Utah on a flight. They won't share the same plane, but they're both going back to Salt Lake City for Game 6. So it's Sunday at 7:30 Eastern. With the Bulls now in front, 3-2. Tonight, after your late local news, an all-new Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Jay welcomes Gwyneth Paltrow and 7'2" Marco Didek of the WNBA's Utah Stars, along with musical guest Dwight Yoakam. And for those of you who'd like to continue with the NBA Finals, interviews and post-game activities are available on CNBC coming up next. For Isaiah Thomas, Doug Collins, Jim Gray, and Ahmad Rashad, I'm Bob Costas. The Utah Jazz, very much alive, and this has been the NBA on NBC.
Over the next 2 weeks, NBC will present 2 of the most prestigious.
Maybe even got a small piece of the ball.
I thought Stockton had a great look right there. It was a well-executed play. Stockton and Malone. And that's who you want taking your last shot because he's made so many big shots for Utah. You know, my heart goes out to Stockton and Malone because those two, more than any other 2 athletes in this era, really deserve a shot at wearing a championship ring.
A shot can hardly come much closer than that without going in. For the celebration, here's Dan Roberts, the PA man.
And now, please direct your attention to center court for the presentation of the 1998 NBA Finals MVP and the Larry O'Brien Championship Trophy.
It is now time to make the 1998 Championship Trophy presentation. Joining me up here are the chairman, Jerry Reinsdorf, Vice President Jerry Krause, head coach Phil Jackson, and to make that presentation, here's the commissioner of the NBA, Mr. David Stern.
The 2 best teams in the NBA this season were the Utah Jazz and the Chicago Bulls. These 2 teams in these finals, wonderfully matched and motivated, treated the world of basketball to NBA basketball at its heart-stopping best. To both teams, thank you. But to the Chicago Bulls, the 1998 NBA champion, and a team for the ages, congratulations to this team, to this organization, to its fans, and to these great players.
All right, Mr. Reinsdorf. Chicago Bulls fans all over the world would like to know, are you going to do everything you can possible to bring these guys back here to try to do this all over again?
Well, let me first, Ahmad, say that on behalf of millions of Bulls fans all around the world, it's an honor to accept this trophy. It's only unfortunate that we can't have co-champions because this Utah Jazz team is just the greatest team that we've ever played. 2 years in a row, they took us as far as you could take anybody. Winning 6 championships in 8 years is unbelievable. It's a tribute to a great coach and his staff, great players, Scotty and Michael, an unbelievable performance by Scotty and Payne tonight. Jerry Krause and his staff, just unbelievable. And on behalf of millions of Bulls fans all over the world, I can only hope and pray that Michael and Scotty will come back and defend the championship one more time.
I take that as a yes. You are going to try to bring them back. Jerry Krause, you have to be very proud of this team.
I'm so proud of these players and the staff. And this is for the fans back in Chicago, the greatest sports fans in the world.
and we're just so happy. We're going to celebrate safe, guys, and we'll be home tomorrow morning.
All right, Jerry, let me ask you, you do everything you can to bring these guys back.
Well, you know, tonight all I want to do is celebrate and have fun, and we're gonna talk later on. But this is a great occasion, and what Jerry said about the Utah club, Jerry Sloan and Scotty Layden are special people, and this is just a great organization, and it's somebody that you're proud of that you can be with.
All right, Jerry, let's talk to Phil Jackson.
Yes, I'm on.
Once again, another journey to the top of the mountain. How is this one different from the other 5?
Well, Ahmad, we had to fight our way through this one. This is a real struggle for us this year against overwhelming odds. Maybe not as talented as the last 2 years, but they had a great heart. Hearts of a champion, as Michael has said. They won it.
All right, you will celebrate tonight. Are you going to come back?
Gee, that's a great question, Ahmad. I'll dodge that one right now. Thanks.
All right, Phil. All right, once again, it is now time for the 1998 NBA Finals Most Valuable Player Award. And once again, here's the Commissioner, David Stern.
Big surprise. 6 championships, 6 MVPs. Michael Jordan, get over here. You grace us with your presence. You've contributed mightily to our league. And tonight you gave one of the singular performances in the history of the NBA Finals. Thank you and congratulations, 1998 NBA Finals MVP, Michael Jordan.
Michael, you have won this award before, but somehow I have the feeling that this one is more special than all of them.
Well, let me say hello to my wife and my kids at home because they desperately wanted to come. I didn't want them to come here today because I wanted to focus on the game, but I wish they were here to help me celebrate. I know they're there cheering, and I can't wait to get home. But to the Utah fans, you guys are a tough bunch to play in front of. You guys came out with a lot of loyalty and respect for your team. You made it really tough for us. We really, after losing Game 5 in Chicago, a couple of us dread coming back to Utah because we had to deal with the fans because of the energy that they bring to the game. But we had no choice, so we had to come in and play our best, and you guys made it a very competitive finals, and you know it's very worthy to win this, and I think of all the championships that we've won, this is the toughest.
It doesn't get any easier, but at the beginning of the season, this was the goal that you set out for. How wonderful was it to make this into a reality?
Well, I tell you, when you start the season, I'm pretty sure every team next year is going to start with the focus of finishing and winning their last game. We started with that focus. It was a long road, a lot of different tasks and little bumps in the road, but somehow we made it, and I think everybody who looks at this year is going to have a lot of gratification and understanding and a lot of dedication.
There were a lot of times during the course of the season that people doubted the Chicago Bulls, doubted that you'd be able to come back and pull this off. Even during this finals series here, people doubted you. How'd you guys stay so confident?
Well, I mean, this team is one. Our leadership is strong. Our leadership is very positive, very determined, and it filters down to the rest of the players. And we never let anybody give up. You know, we believed in it, and we kept coming for it.
All right, I've asked everybody if they're all going to come around to try to do this again. One more time?
I would love for that to happen. I think that's something that's got to have to be determined over the summer.
All right. Congratulations, Michael. Congratulations, Chicago Bulls. Let's go over to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Ahmad. Tonight, one of the truly gutty performances in the finals by Scottie Pippen. Scottie, how badly were you hurt during this game?
I was hurting pretty bad, you know, to start the game off. I was able to get a dunk when I came down. The pain just sort of built from that point, and every time I tried to run, I was getting spasms. But I knew I wanted to come back and try to give a better performance in the second half, so I just tried to take advantage of that little bit of time before the half and, you know, see what I can do. And I came out the second half, and Chip wanted to give me a little treatment, and I took the treatment, and I told him from there I was going to just try to gut it out. You know, I felt like that my presence out on the floor would mean more than just sitting in the locker room.
Initially, you didn't think you could come back, and then the miracle happened there at halftime. How much did you revert back to some of the things that had happened to you in the past, and you knew that if you gutted it out this time that it could change all of that?
Well, I knew I was going to come back the second half. I have to correct you on that. I knew, but I just didn't know how much I was going to be able to give. I knew I wanted to just hope that the team could stay in the game, keep it close, and if I could come back out, let my presence be known out on the court.
Now, Scottie, you were in tears after the game. Was this your most difficult championship, and why the tears this time? Is it maybe because you feel it's ending?
Well, I think they all have brought tears to my eyes, but this one was so difficult because you know, I felt like to some degree without me being out on the court that I was kind of letting the team down, and they understood. But, you know, I wanted to be there. I wanted to be a present. I wanted to play a major role in the game, but the other guys came off the bench, held us in there the first half, especially Michael. He had a heck of a game, and, you know, everything else is history.
Now, you hold the key here to these teams returning. Michael said if you come back, he'll come back, and Phil and so forth. What are your thoughts? Will you come back? Would you take a one-year deal? What will go through your thought process in making this determination?
Well, Jim, right now, I just have to, you know, let everything soak in. You know, there's a lot of opportunities out there for me, and, you know, I have to look more down the road at my future, but, you know, I don't know. You know, after all this soaks in and get back and get my back on track, you know, you never know.
Is there a twinge of sadness with you, a little melancholy feeling right now that it may be ending?
Excuse me?
Are you feeling a little sad right now that this could be coming to a close?
No, not really. You know, we're going to enjoy this, and, you know, as long as we can. You know, as a player right now, I don't feel like it's over. You know, we got a lot of celebration to do, and I'm not really looking forward to next season right now.
Final thought, the Utah Jazz and Karl Malone, a spectacular effort. What would your thoughts be toward them?
It was great. You know, Karl and John, you know, they're some gutty performers. Whether it's Hornacek, Russell, who's grown and matured and, you know, had a fabulous series. You know, we take our hats off to this team. The fans here have really came out and made us work hard. You know, it was a great series. You know, it was a even better series than last series, even though, you know, both series ended at 6 games. This topped it all.
Scotty, congratulations. A truly gutsy performance.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back now to Bob Costas.
Thanks, Jim, to back up the accolades offered to Karl Malone by Scottie Pippen. Malone had 31 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists in 43 minutes tonight. And even as they could not stop Scottie and Michael from claiming another title, Malone managed to average 25 points and 10.5 rebounds in the series. We'll talk with Karl Malone when we come back after this from your local station.
Here at NBC, our research says that people missed over half the episodes of their favorite shows. Hey, it happens. Visitors show up, you get interrupted, whatever. So this summer, you get a chance to catch up on the episodes you might have missed. Because if you haven't seen it, it's new to you.
Well, the South loves trucks, that's all there is to it. For work or play, just get out and do it.
The truck stop of the New South.
The new Dodge.
Here's a Dodge Ram created just for the New South. For a low $199 a month lease, you get a Ram with a Magnum V6, air conditioning, chrome wheels, and more. Or buy this truck for under $17,300. Either way, this Ram is sure to go fast.
The truck stop of the New South.
Plus, select customers now get a $500 bonus.
With Bell Atlantic Mobile, you can make important calls from just about everywhere, like the I'm working late call or the I'm on my way call. Because at Bell Atlantic Mobile, everything we do is for one reason. That moment when you make the my car won't start call. Are you all right?
I'm okay, Dad. But hurry.
Your call goes through. A cell phone is only as good as the network it's on. Choose Bell Atlantic Mobile.
Play Powerade 98 Draft, and if you go in the first round, it is on. You and a buddy off to Disney's Wide World of Sports for the ultimate multi-sport training experience. Living large, larger than large, first round pick large. Other prizes include discounts at Champ Sports and free Powerade. You, a first rounder? Can you imagine?
Hey!
Of course you can.
Air Star 6, only on today's 6 News.
Congratulations, NBA champion Chicago Bulls. For a 6th time, it's Miller time. Miller Lite wants to remind you that whenever you feel good, it's Miller time.
We're back at the Delta Center, and just moments ago, Jim Gray spoke with Karl Malone.
I'm here with Karl Malone. Karl, can you begin to explain the disappointment you must be feeling right here at the end?
Well, without a doubt, I'm disappointed. We fought hard. Guys did the best, did a good job. But, you know, it's tough. It's a tough loss for us. You know, got to be a professional, give them credit for it. They won the ball game.
Tell us about the last play, and Michael Jordan, he came over and stripped you of the ball.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you got the ball. That's fine. That's part of it.
Carl, you've been a truly great player, and you come so close now to the championship. Will you return? Will you keep trying to get to the top of this mountain?
Well, I'm not a quitter. I just got to get away for a while and think about things. But, you know, it's a tough one. It's a tough loss. Give them credit. They won. You know, what else can you say?
Do you feel as though this was Michael Jordan's last game?
I don't know. I don't know if it was Michael's last game or not.
Scottie Pippen in tears over here. You're not sure about Michael Jordan. What did Scottie just say to you?
Oh, no, he just told me good game.
Carl, you're a class act. Congratulations on a great season.
Thank you.
Among the many things you can say in praise of Karl Malone, he has never ducked the media. Win or lose, he is always there to stick his chin out and take it for better or worse. And tonight, another magnificent performance by Malone, but nevertheless, his team falls just a point short. Moments ago, Ahmad Rashad caught up with Dennis Rodman.
Okay, right? All right, thanks, Bob. Dennis, you said you didn't want to come back out to Utah, but none of this would have been possible unless you did come back out here.
Yeah, absolutely. We didn't want to come back to Utah, but you know how the world goes. It goes around in circles. So I guess we had to come back. So this was a very emotional win. It wasn't a physical game. It was a very emotional win as far as your mental aspect. But you know, got to give it to the team. Everybody stuck together. We won it.
All right. So people are now talking about what about next year? Are you coming back? Would you like to get everybody back together?
I would love to come back to Chicago. I mean, Chicago gave me my break, and you know, I'd love to be back if they want me back. But we'd like to get the whole nucleus back and form a team and get last dance.
Dennis, you had a great season. Congratulations to a great champion.
Yes, everybody in Dallas. Way to go, baby.
All right, back to you, Bob.
Ahmad, thanks very much. Much more to come. On the postgame show, we'll go into the locker rooms when we come back to the Delta Center in Salt Lake City right after this. In 6 games, a 6th championship for the Chicago Bulls. Back to Utah after this.
Announcing the new Miller Lite Scratch and Sniff Fantasy Sweepstakes. If you can smell it, you can win it.
It smells like beef.
Smell beef and win 400 pounds of red meat.
You tiresome fool, it's obviously suntan oil.
Smell suntan oil and you win the grand prize. Be an extra on the Sports Illustrated swimsuit shoot.
Hi, Jimmy.
Score!
Tell me about it.
See special displays for details.
You were born to ride. You are the ruler of the road.
Hey, well, it's my turn.
Wish you had a Harley? Come to any Napa Auto Parts store during our Great American Sweepstakes for a chance to win a Harley-Davidson Super Glide and a ride across America with Kyle Petty. Or win one of 8 vacations. It's all part of the Great American Sweepstakes and sale, only at Napa.
You were born to ride.
Napa Silver oil filters as low as $1.99.
How can you tell what a home is worth? Is it what you could get for it today? Or something more enduring? Is it about a cozy porch? Is it a nice yard? A comfortable living room? Or is it better schools, safer streets, the feeling of security? You see, when you own a home, you're not just building a brighter future for your family. You're building a brighter future for all of us. For a free guide that can help you on the path to home ownership, call the Fannie Mae Foundation.
For anyone who's ever worked overtime on their nails. For anyone who's ever worked with a guy like this. Or had to listen to this woman talk about her cat. For those who have slept with their eyes open, we bring you Working, just like your job, only funnier. NBC, Wednesdays.
As we return to the Delta Center, we're waiting to get access to the locker rooms. And in the meantime, let's go to the Showtime crew headed by Hannah Storm. Happy birthday, by the way, Hannah.
Thanks a lot, Bob. I think that was a very important detail we needed to cover at this point. But we'll get some final thoughts from you, Doug, and Isaiah in just a few moments. First, though, we have Peter Vesey, John Sally, and Bill Walton. And Bill, this championship, not just for the city of Chicago, but for Bulls fans and basketball fans around the world.
Hannah, the championships are so special. The style, the joy, the amazing grace of the Bulls. Just a priceless treasure for the entire world of basketball that just absolutely love the way they play. These guys are so good and have done so much for the sport of basketball. They demand our ultimate respect, which they certainly have. They also demand, though, to be kept together for absolutely as long as possible.
Well, Michael Jordan, the MVP tonight, his 6th MVP award, and he willed his team to a championship this evening. And Scottie Pippen, such a force in the series, and a courageous performance tonight, John, playing with that back injury.
Well, like I said, Scottie showed all kind of loyalty, and I hope the Chicago Bulls remember that, Hannah, that he came in, took a shot, went back and forth, did everything he could possibly do to play, being on the court. This guy showed the most unbelievable character. Even though Michael Jordan got that trophy, I think they gave it to Michael because, you know, Scottie couldn't carry it off. It was too heavy for him. But Michael should hand that over to him because he definitely was co-MVP.
Jordan with the final 8 points for his team tonight and the big steal down the stretch. Unbelievable.
Hannah, if Michael saw this as conceivably his last game with the Bulls, what chance did the Jazz really have? The stakes were much too high. However, if there's more to come, if Michael stays and the core stays intact, lucky us, we're game. If Michael does retire, we've been privileged. And if Michael stays and Pippen leaves, then what's left, Hannah? Let's find out which one can win a championship without the other one.
Well, at this point, we're going to go back down to the floor and get more post-game comments as we join Jim Gray. Jim?
All right. Thank you very much, Hannah. I'm now joined by Tony Kukoc and Ron Harper. Harp, let's start with you. You weren't feeling very good tonight, but you managed to play. How difficult was it for you out there?
Well, I had a tough half, I think. But the main thing was that we had guys that came in and played big. We had guys that made real key shots. We had some good defensive plays late in the ball game. And this was great. This was a great win for our team. Our hats off to the Jazz and their fans. It was a great series. And I'm happy it's over.
Can you describe for us, please, as a teammate, your thoughts on the performance of Scottie Pippen?
Oh, Scottie Pippen was courageous today. You know, he definitely didn't feel well, and I definitely knew that, and our teammate knew, and we lost him early during the half, but he came out in the last quarter and just played big for a basketball team, and he made some real key shots for us.
He went to put the champagne.
Harp, TK, you made the biggest shots for us.
Well, let's ask him. Tony, how sweet is this one compared to the others as you're now being doused with champagne as we all are in here?
This is the sweetest one. This is the toughest one that we got so far, but it's the sweetest one. Especially before early in the series, they said we are underdogs. When we lost the last game in Chicago, they said we have no chance coming in here, but we're still the champs.
You managed to step up your performance in this championship series. You've taken a lot of criticism. How personally satisfying is it for you to have that now behind you?
It's very satisfying for me. That's the way we Croatians are as survivors. And we're trying to do the same thing, just trying to play my best every time I step on the court.
You are one of the few guys who definitely will be back here next year. What are your thoughts on this team remaining intact?
If I can, if it's my decision, I will leave this team until it dies. I mean,
you think that will happen?
It's a great team. I hope it does. I hope it does. There's no reason to split the team that is winning, that is doing an incredible job on the court.
Phil closed the locker room here for about 7 minutes. What was it that he said to you guys as you all huddled together privately?
Nothing. Nothing new. It was just our own celebration.
What now? What do you think the timetable will be? There's a possible lockout looming now. What do you think the timetable will be for the return of Phil Jackson and then Michael and Scottie?
Nothing we can do. Just wait and hope that it's going to end up being good.
Tony, congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
All right, now let's send it back outside to Bob Costas.
Come on.
Jim, thanks again. There's more to come from Salt Lake City. We'll have more interviews and a look back at this Bulls dynasty when the post-game show rolls on after this.
You will be called private, specialist, or sergeant. Beneath the ribbons on your chest will be the souls of those who came before. You will be an individual, but triumph as a team. You will know strength, courage, and must be won, achieve what must be done.
Be all that you can be.
You will be a soldier.
Let's say Spider-Man is like Castrol Syntec motor oil. And this is a harmful particle in your engine. Get the point? You see, Syntec's patented stabilizers seek out and neutralize harmful particles, protecting in ways other oils can't. Castrol Syntec, the active lubricant.
Within the largest village live 5 very different people from 5 completely different worlds with only one thing in common: their family. From the producer of ER, Trinity, NBC this fall.
Except for the 2 seasons when Michael Jordan was away playing baseball, the NBA Finals have just about become synonymous with the Chicago Bulls. In their locker room again, Ahmad Rashad.
All right, thanks, Bob. Now, you talk about the big 3 of the Chicago Bulls. This is the big 3 right here. Steve, Judd, and Bill. No, here they are. These guys, now, what kind of a run was that for you guys this year?
Fantastic. I mean, you can't put it into words. I mean, it was a great time all year long. To end up like this, it's going to be an awfully fun summer.
And Judge, you had such big moments in this final series. You kept telling me during the whole season, didn't he? That at halftime, Phil kept saying, get the ball to Buechler.
That's the goal, but for some reason it ends up in Michael's hands. I don't know what to do about that.
It's ridiculous. Yes. And how was Steve? You took a beating tonight. I saw you do a pick. You got knocked down, then stepped on, and kept coming.
I always take a beating, Ahmad. That's the story of my career. But I'm just so happy to be a part of this. I mean, we just hopped on Michael's back, basically. The guy is a basketball god, and I'm glad he's on my team.
Yeah, but you know what? A lot of guys don't realize that this is one of the closest knit teams that I've ever been around. Watching you guys over the past couple of years, they talk about Michael, Scotty, Dennis, but you guys are really a close knit group.
We definitely are, and what a lot of people don't know is that we were Siamese triplets at birth, and we were separated about 2 months old. And we really are. We really are close. We're having a lot of fun. And I must remark that, Ahmad, you are wearing a beautiful suit
Randy
today.
Brown. Randy Brown.
How you doing?
How you keep your eyes on? Oh, my God. How you keep your eyes on?
I love the stage.
You know, I wouldn't have ordered Grant Court if it was Dom Perignon, but that's cheap champagne. Why is it so cheap? I'm wondering that myself.
It has the same.
Wait, now you keep your eyes open through this.
First ring, baby. My first one. It feels great, baby. It feels great, baby. It's Bud Light.
That's an awesome job of keeping your eyes open through this ordeal.
That's the end of this. I'm through with this. Let's go back to Hannah. Hannah?
Hi, Hannah.
Ahmad, I think you made yourself a target wearing that rain suit down there, but showing remarkable composure. 3rd NBA title for Buechler, Kerr, and Wennington, and the Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship of the decade. And who knows, it might have been 8 titles. Michael Jordan not retired for a year and a half back in 1993. Whether or not the Bulls return intact next season, we will not know for some time. What we do know is that the Bulls of Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Phil Jackson have been one of the great dynasties in sports history.
The Bulls win the championship! 70 has become a reality.
We're seeing the end of a terrific era here in the NBA.
How's it gonna be?
First ever NBA championship. Here's the Chicago Bulls have won 3 straight NBA championships.
How's it gonna be when it goes down?
Well, as Phil Jackson told us earlier tonight, the Bulls have given us a remarkable story, and if indeed this is it for Michael Jordan and this incarnation of the Chicago Bulls, at least tonight they authored an ending of their own choosing. Let's send it back to Bob Costas.
Hannah, thanks very much. Guys, final thoughts?
Well, Bob, congratulations to the Chicago Bulls. Michael Jordan, the greatest player ever, and a privilege and an honor for me to be able to be a part of this and watch both of these teams fight it out. But Chicago is just fabulous, and congratulations once again to them.
Zeke?
I'd like to say congratulations to Chicago also. Michael Jordan is truly the greatest of our time. No other athlete could have done what he did this year, sustaining his concentration despite doing everything that he wanted to do with all the distractions. Just great, great, great performance by Michael Jordan.
Guys, thank you. It's been a pleasure. Zeke, Doug? Well, for Bulls fans, there is, of course, cause for celebration tonight after a 6th championship that came harder than the others. But there's some anxiousness mixed in as well. Who knows how all of this will play out, but it's certainly possible that tonight we saw the last of the Chicago Bulls as we have known them. And whether it ends here or sometime in the near future, it'll be noteworthy not just for the breakup of one of the great teams in sports history, but because given the present structure of pro sports, it may be quite a while before we see anything like this again. Oh, the organizations that have the resources, the Yankees, the Braves, the Cowboys, the Lakers, and the NBA, will almost always field contending teams. But the days of continuity may be ending. Even on the best teams, there's now so much turnover that it's becoming ever harder to follow and identify with teams. Loyalty has been fragmented, which brings us to an underappreciated aspect of this golden era in the NBA. It hasn't just been Bird, Magic, and Michael. It was the whole recognizable cast of characters around them that gave the Celtics, the Lakers, and the Bulls their texture and made following them all the more interesting. Even the Jazz, noble runners-up 2 years in a row, are personified by the longest tenured coach in the league and 2 Hall of Famers who have been teammates for well over a decade. We'll see championship teams in the future, but will we see teams that endure this way? And as for Michael Jordan, all the superlatives have been exhausted and almost all apply. But perhaps the most important one is this: he's authentic. His essence is so much deeper than image. In fact, the image is, in his case, an amplification of something true and substantive. Take all the money, all the adulation, all the TV cameras away, and put Michael Jordan in a gym somewhere with Russell and Oscar, West and the Doctor, and he'd be as genuine and as much in his element as any of them. His heart and his athletic integrity every bit as impressive as his artistry. So whenever it ends, it's been an incredible ride for Jordan and the Bulls, and we at NBC have been privileged to be taken along for that ride. So as we say goodnight, we'd like to acknowledge the work of all the people who made these telecasts possible. For everyone at NBC Sports, good night from Salt Lake City.